And we're live. Let's start.
Lies and slander. You say that, but it does not say we're online on Twitch.
Hey,
Of
man.
course, I didn't give it the requisite 15 seconds of buffering.
Hey, Restream's got to do its job here.
I do love the fact
Do
that
its
your
job
thing
here.
for the main title is what's going on here.
Yeah.
On the Twitch page, the main title is what's going on here.
Something running in the background. Yeah, I always... That's the question people used to come in and be like, what's going on here? Because they expected it to be one of those, like, Q&A Twitch shows where it's like somebody's just sitting there and they're answering questions from chat.
Like an AMA kind of thing.
Yeah, and they'd be like, well, why aren't you guys talking to me? It's like, guys, like, what? So I had to write, like, what's going on here? It's like, we're recording a show, just, we're also doing it live.
Yes.
So...
We will interact with you, just not during the proper show unless you bring up a valid point.
Yeah. Zyrus S commented on a video, TVGP episode 311, Trip, Tumble, Tumble, Drop. Says, LOL, Boston saying he won't play Marvel Puzzle Quest anymore. Fast forward to 2018 where he talked about playing it every episode.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for the reminder, though, because I need to mention that in this week's episode.
That was a Hannah episode, too.
Marvel Puzzle Quest.
Way back there. Oh, did you happen to play... this should have been... I should have talked about this before we went live, but that's okay.
Yes, I did.
The curtain. Did you play any of that game I gave you that code for?
Yes, I did. It's on my list for today.
Okay. Just mention that the
full disclosure.
Publisher gave us a key. That's all you need to say.
Always do.
Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Alright, so now we need to do show notes while peeps are coming in.
Oh, by the way, if you see me looking to my left, it's because the chat is here.
Ah, okay.
Just so everybody's aware. Like, I have my tablet set up, and rather than have it here on the desktop where I can shake the mic like this, see?
Oh, yeah.
Like that. I've got it over here instead.
Oh, alright, I don't want to talk about that.
Also, check out my sweet skull PJs. My Christmas skulls.
Excuse me.
I should probably pull up some page with the achievements for thingy on because we need to talk about this.
Yeah, I was
it's
gonna.
So funny.
Let me just pull it up now.
If you, by the way, if you want me to take over for that particular news story, like if you just want to hand it off, that's absolutely fine.
Do not worry. That's already my plan. I was just gonna pull up the achievements from xboxachievements.com.
xboxachievements.com, not X360A.
And put that in show notes, and then we're good. Link to the achievement list is in the show notes if you want it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, some of these are pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to look at all of those because that
I
immediately know we need to talk about that.
Yeah, I started reading them yesterday. I think I saw TA posted about it. That's True Achievements. They posted on their Twitter feed about it. I follow them because they do giveaways.
Hey.
They posted about it on their Twitter feed, and I was like, wait, what? I looked it up, and I was just like, oh, we need to talk about this on the show. Like, we have to because it's just so well done. I'm talking to myself.
Hello there, Moonpeer and Chad. How you doing?
That's actually not bad if I'm using the desktop app for Twitch. It's only about a 4-second delay between it showing up on the video.
Oh, that's not bad.
Using my phone, it's like a fucking 20-second delay.
Yeah.
And I swore and then panicked that I swore, and then I realized we're not actually in the episode proper yet, so I don't have to worry about it.
I didn't give you this face. Over here scribbling like made more work for me. It's friggin' stupid.
There was a swear word that was cut out of the thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But it was literally, it's the section where I talked about cutting something out.
Oh.
And then it was like, oh, you're really going to cut it out? It's like, yes. And then that's when the swearing commenced.
Nice. Okay, there's another news story.
For anyone watching the archive and interested, Today's vape flavor is, I feel really bad saying this, Smurfette.
Not what I was expecting.
Wish I was kidding.
Wow. What flavor is Smurfette?
It's blueberry pie.
Gross. Jesus.
Just to take it to the, logical extremes.
Yeah. Blech. Whatever dude came up with that flavor and that name, dude, you're gross.
Well, it's actually a local. The place I get my stuff from it's a local chain. They've got like 3 stores around Rochester. I've been to 2 of them, and the staff there are incredible. Like, walk in, first time I ever walked in, I was like, give me 2 recommendations, 1 fruity, 1 more stronger, and then give me 2 recommendations. And the next time I walked in, I was like, give me 2 recommendations that don't include this one and this one. Go. And they just immediately off the top of their head, they're throwing out recommendations to me.
Nice.
Not a one has been a miss so far.
Oh yeah, we need to talk about this. All right. What else do we have here for news stories? Not that. Not that. Geralt coming to Soul Calibur 6, which is going to be in many more years of people mispronouncing Geralt.
His name is Geralt. Come on, dude.
I wish. I wish, because then people would stop mispronouncing it.
Oh, my... Great. Just great.
Oh, we need to talk about this.
Sea of Thieves comes out on Tuesday.
Yep.
I miss the UK release dates. Like, I'm not going to lie, because every game got released in the UK on a Friday.
Yeah.
Like, that seems the logical, correct thing to me, because it's like, oh, hey, it comes out on Friday. Guess what? We can spend the weekend playing the game. Whereas when things come out of a Tuesday, it's like, okay, it's 8 o'clock. I've got to go to bed in an hour. I've now got this game. Oh, yeah, I get to play it for an hour.
I get to play it for an hour a night for the next 3 days.
Yeah, and then sink my teeth into it.
Yeah, I think that's why we're seeing more and more publishers pushing their release dates to Friday. Pray.
Wait, what? I had a great a name of something incredible then.
The hit 2017 video game Ray.
Yes, Ray.
Lamprey.
Lamprey.
Yes, Lamprey.
Octoprey.
I don't know if I want to talk about that. I don't care about that. Microsoft throwing some poop at Sony.
Oh, is this cross-platform stuff?
Yeah, I'm not going to put that in the show notes.
No, Sony's not going to bend on the decision until they start losing the console war again.
Yeah, sadly.
No. Like, they're not going to bend on it at all.
Just 7 news stories for this week.
Only 7.
No big deal.
Oh, jeez.
Well, we had to cut last week's show a little bit short, so... Actually, this one of the few weeks where interesting stuff happened. Okay, do we have anything from Twitter? Mentions for TVGP. There it is. That guy. Nope. Okay.
Now we got 1, maybe 2 questions in Discord. Also, I apologize if you can hear me chewing as clear as day.
I have 3 if we keep... Oh, did I keep that one from last week? Yes, I did. Alright, so I have 3. 2 from Discord, 1 from email. But I think let's check Reset Era and see if there's any other news stories here before we start. Give peeps some time to hop in here. There was that leaked gameplay footage for the new God of War that I just am not gonna watch.
Are you on media blackout for it?
No, just I feel like if there's some gameplay footage that got leaked, that probably means that there was like a press event. So either Sony is going to release like a full like 15-minute gameplay demo, or all of those outlets are going to release something. So why watch it in like some shitty 480p?
Yeah, it could also be like an investor thing as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, especially since it got leaked, might as well wait until the real thing comes out.
Especially these days, like leaks have got like a week usually, and then after a week they're usually just released anyway.
Yeah.
It's like whatever happened to the Marvel one, where they had something leaked and they were like, oops, that was a mistake, and then just released it the next day.
Yeah.
Okay, is that better?
Oh, God of War preview B-roll footage embargoed until tomorrow at 8 a.m. PT. So
perfect.
I just need to wait like 12 hours.
Come on, stupid pop screen. Don't touch the microphone.
I don't care about that.
Maybe that's what's causing my weird white noise thing.
It's
like, you know, the audio thing. I think it could just be the fact that my pop screen doesn't actually stay off my microphone. It rests on it.
Oh.
Because this cable, this weird stretchy cable that it's on, it's not very supportive in the slightest.
Pop.
It's a pop screen that pops.
Yeah. Works perfectly.
Maybe I can just hold it like this the whole show.
That'll be fine, yeah.
I don't see any problem with this.
No, should work great. Boy, the review embargo for Yakuza 6 was already up.
Wait, Yakuza 6, which one's that one?
The one that the demo was actually the full game.
Oh, okay, it's that one.
84 on OpenCritic right now, which is good. But it doesn't release for like another month. Yeah, April 17th. This is going to be the old release date. That's weird.
Microphone, please level yourself out. The pop screen's no longer touching you. Why? I don't even know. My microphone's so weird.
Oh.
Click. That's weird.
I really need to, in probably like 3 weeks, I need to hit that Sega. Sega did a really great thing, because they realized that in the US, Yakuza 0 got really big, and there are a lot of people like me that started the series there.
Yeah.
And then, you know, 0 comes out, and then the remake of 1 comes out, and then 6 comes out. So they created this whole website that's interactive and has like clips from all the other games to catch you up from what happens between 1 and 6.
That's kind of a neat idea.
Yeah, they've had it for a while, and I just need to go there as soon as I can before 6 gets released, and catch up on some of that stuff, because apparently they have some of that stuff in game, but it's all text. So why would I do that?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of like text recaps. It's like as much as like I really want to start the newest Deus Ex, but I kind of want to finish the first one. Mm-hmm. But that has that great section on the title screen, which is like it's like
Last
Catch Me Up.
Deus Ex.
Yeah, and it's just like a video thing showing you the backstory.
I really liked that as someone who played an hour of the first one. I was like, okay, I think the video is like 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And it hits all the high points, and it was really good.
Why
microphone? Why? Are you on a fault line?
I don't know. I might be on a ley line instead.
Seems more accurate.
Yeah, the ghostly specter of. Well, I'll just do what I always do and
filter it out.
Do the noise reduction on it. Oh, let's get my cross legs on.
We're gonna have to pimp this on Discord? Alright, let's make sure we're live.
That might explain why nobody's in the chat.
That's alright, they're just, you know, it's the day after St. Patrick's Day.
That was going to be my next sentence, was,
hey, slow start.
People are probably still asleep now.
We are unlisted on YouTube because I'm a big dummy. That would also help. Let's make sure we're live. Oh my god, I don't care.
Okay.
Whoops. Make sure we're... I hit some button and it went full screen. I'm gonna guess it's the letter F.
Probably.
Okay. Alright, I think we're live everywhere now. Yeah. Okay, are you ready to kick this thing off?
Yes. Am I frustrated with my microphone? Yes.
Always.
Yep.
Alright, let's get started here in 3, 2, excuse me, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me, as always, is Moonpeer.
Hello.
We recorded a recap episode for our latest Game Club game. Episode 50 was for West of Loathing. That should be live. If you're listening to the audio version of this show, should be live in the feed now. Mm-hmm. West of Loathing is really good. You should go play it.
Yeah. Go get it. It's on Steam. I think it's on GOG. I'm not sure.
Probably.
Go buy it. It's great.
And as such, the patrons chose our next game, which is The Swapper.
Yep.
Which I was going to start today until I forgot my headphones were somewhere else when my kid fell asleep on top of me. So, unfortunately, I did not play that.
It's a game of statues at that point. It's like, I shall not move. Yes. I shall stay perfectly still.
I shall let her sleep. But go play The Swapper. We talked about it on the Game Club episode. It released on virtually everything, including PS3 and Wii U, so you probably have something you can play it on.
Yep.
I think that's it. So let's dive into what have you been playing this past week.
Okay, I'm going to start with an oldie but a goodie, which is Marvel Puzzle Quest. The reason I'm talking about this week is because I've realized I've played too much Marvel Puzzle Quest.
Okay.
Because I do a thing with the events where I get all of the card pulls that you get from the events. I don't actually pull them until that event is over, and then I pull all of the cards, cycle out, train up, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I realized as I was doing that from the last event, I'm recognizing every single star rating and character from just the logo that appears as it goes into the card and opens the pack.
Oh no.
I was like, oh, that's 2-star Human Torch. That's 2-star Ares. That's 3-star Captain Marvel, the lady version.
Right.
And as I was doing it, I was thinking, oh no.
I've gone too deep.
No. Yeah. It's the Isaac flowchart, but with little circular logos with Marvel characters. And there's a lot of them in there.
There's a ton of them in there.
So how am I recognizing them all so easily just off a little logo? I mean, don't get me wrong, the logos are fantastically designed to make you think of those particular characters, but the fact that I can recognize, I think it was like 33 polls, and every single one I was correct.
Ooh, no, I've got 4-star Rogue, and it's like, oh no.
Yeah, exactly. So, Marvel Puzzle Quest is still great.
Yeah.
My quest, well, it's an unofficial quest. I have a quest, which is, thanks to friends and members of the community, Mackie and T-Bomb, I have 1,160 games on Steam to play.
Wow.
I'm trying my best to go through them alphabetically. This is where Orbitalis came up, because it starts with a 0, so it was right at the front of my list. So I made some steps onto the next set of games I was going to try playing with them. Let's start with the 11th Hour.
Oh.
Which, when I saw it, I thought, I know the name of that game. Why do I know the name of that game so much, but I can't remember a thing about it?
Yeah, it's quite, it's pretty old, right?
Yeah. It came out in, like, 1995?
Yeah, I believe it's the sequel to Seventh Guest.
It is, 100%.
Hey, right.
How do you know this?
I have been playing games for a really long time, and
So,
there used to be a day where a lot of people might not remember this. Nothing really came out in a month, so a sequel to a game was sort of like, hey, we're getting a sequel to something.
That might explain it, but I probably put about 10 minutes into the 11th hour and decided there is not a game for me.
Okay.
Mostly because it was made in 1995.
Right.
It's a point-and-click adventure game with FMV cut sequences.
Oh.
Don't get me wrong, I love the FMV in it.
Oh, yeah.
It's the point-and-click nature of it, where the cursor is a skeleton hand that does different animations depending on what you put it on.
Oh, yeah.
And it's constantly pulsating with this blue circular thing.
Oh.
I just couldn't keep playing. I got like 10 minutes and I was like, no, I can't stare at this blue circular pulsing thing.
Just womp, womp.
Exactly. It's very 1995 in the way it's done. So
right.
11th hour, I did my due diligence. I loaded it. I tried it. I cannot continue to play it. I'm missing a game here, so I'll have to talk about that next week because I'm still playing it. Next on the list, 12 is better than 6. That's the title of the game, and your look of confusion there says that you've probably never heard of it.
Is it 12 greater than sign 6, or it's all written out?
It's the number 12 is better than the number 6.
Okay.
This is why this game is the reason why I'm doing this. The whole alphabetical playthrough thing is because this game is incredible.
Really?
It's a top-down Hotline Miami style action game where it's looking down from above and you've got to go around and kill everybody in the area. So it's very Hotline Miami-like.
Right.
Except it's done in a sketchbook art style, and it's set in new agey, not new agey, like Wild Wild West, Mexico and Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So you play a Mexican who is trying to regain his memory and figure out why he was in these mines being forced to do labor. The style in this game, like, it controls okay, like the game controls well, the music is incredible in it, like it does a very good job of that Wild Wild West kind of feel to the music, but the art on display is incredible. Like, it's all blue lines with white backgrounds, so it's, like I said, it's very sketchbooky,
right? Except
for when you shoot someone and there's just a big pool of blood around them. It has an incredible reload and gun mechanic where if someone's got like a bolt-action rifle, you can empty the clip, pick up a different bolt-action rifle, and keep the bullets that you emptied from the previous clip. Like, that's the way to maintain ammo. But you have to manually reload everything as well. So if you're using your revolver, you have to tap X to load the bullets into the chamber of the revolver.
Nice.
And to actually aim it and fire it. Other than that, it seems very Hotline Miami, but it's really well produced, really well. I think it's an English as a second language game would be my guess based on just the actual text for it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really well done. It's touching on issues of racism, the Native Americans versus the Texans, the Mexicans versus everybody. Like, it's telling a very serious story in a very brutal and violent way. And I'm really loving it so far. This is one of these games that's on my list, and it will continue to stay on my list. I think I'm probably about halfway through it at this point. There's 4 acts. I think I've just finished Act 2. So I'm probably going to see this one out through to the end because I'm actually really enjoying it. I cannot recommend it enough if you're a fan of like the Hotline Miami type thing.
Yeah, I'm watching the trailer here, and it really does look cool, and it it says it's deep in the Wild West because it says it's the U.S. in 1873, and man, that art style is really cool. It's we spent a bunch of time talking in the Game Club most recent Game Club episode about the art style of West of Loathing, which if you look at it, you sort of wouldn't expect that to be something you talk about for a while. I feel the same way about 12 is better than 6, where it doesn't look like a lot, but there's a lot of touches, and I really do like the, like you said, almost sketchbook style of, it looks like white paper where somebody has taken almost like a fine-tooth ballpoint pen and kind of used that to draw, but not something like Drawn to Death where it looked like scribbles in a notebook. This looks like really like an art student, made something really nice.
Yep, it shocked me on several occasions as this game, like how well it's presented in multiple aspects, because like I said, I hadn't heard about it before, and I thought, let's give it a shot, and this is why I'm doing it, for games like this, for games where it's like, I wouldn't have known about this unless I loaded it up, but
it's nice to be surprised by a game like this.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those games that just, it speaks to me as, especially someone who never played Hotline Miami. I couldn't tell you if it controls better or anything like that, but it does have the trials thing as well, where if you die, you restart, and it's an instant restart. No load times, no nothing, just whoosh, straight back. You figure out the way through. It's a puzzle death simulator kind of thing. Next game I played, Rainbow Six Siege. Yay! Didn't play any more of the Outbreak mode as of yet. I mostly just played because I'm in a situation where my wife has a crew that she plays with. And that crew that she plays with is kind of really good at the game. Like,
like they've played so much that they're SEAL Team 6.
Yeah, it's literally, oh, is that a pinky I see pointing out from the side of a wall? Well, that person's clearly dead now.
Right.
Like, that's the level my wife and her crew play with.
Jeez.
So, anytime they play together, I'm always kind of intimidated by it, because
you're like the little kid playing with the big kids, where it's like riding the bike behind them, where it's like, please, just go slower. I can promise I can help.
That is 100% how I feel, because I will get in and people will be calling out, because they've been playing this since day one. It's like season 3 now, and they've been playing since day one. So they're calling out, oh, they're in the kitchen. It's like, is the kitchen on the ground floor, the first floor, the second floor? What section of the house is it?
You're
north, south,
outside
east?
The house. You're like, I have a shotgun, and they're like, oh my god.
Yep. I've done one thing in that game I'm proud of, and I did that way back when in season 1, because it was you can tell how far back it was, because it was before the sniper in the game got his thermal vision scope, and it's probably my favorite shot I've ever taken. At some point I'll probably upload it to Twitter, because it's such a good moment. And I think I talked about it on the show when I did it. It's a game about those moments where you clutch it for I hate using that term so much, but it's about those clutch moments where it's 3v1, 1v3, and you ace it and you take people out and you succeed despite the fact that you didn't think you were going to.
Yeah, you have those hero moments.
Yes, and it very much like Battlefield, like it perfectly captures that kind of moment.
Well, it's
really
the thing that Destiny 1 PvP did really well, where it's like, okay, it is 4v1 and I'm on the one side, but I have a super and I just wiped out 4 people and then 2 people that spawned. This is incredible.
Yep, that was actually really fun in Destiny as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we played a little bit of that. Like, I only will really play with them if they're playing casual, because when they're all together, generally they play ranked. And
of course, yeah.
I have not played enough ranked games to ever get a rank, I believe. I've never passed my qualifying stage.
Right.
So I don't play ranked because I don't want to get shot in the face without knowing what's going on.
Right.
So we played a bunch of casual games. That's the best thing about them being such a hardcore crew. When they play ranked, they go silly.
Fun.
They bless my wife for this. She has nicknames. Most of them she came up with for all of the classes.
Okay.
So there's a class in the game called Montang. He's a French operator, and he has a full-size shield. And when you deploy his shield, which is his special ability, it has wraparound on the sides and wraparound on the top. So if he stands in a doorway, the enemies can't shoot you. They can't shoot. They can shoot past him, but if he's squarely in the middle, they ain't getting bullets past him. They can't melee attack him to kill him. He becomes a solid wall.
Jeez.
The tactic you use with him is, because you have the lean and peek ability in the game, if you're an attacker with him in front of you, you lean and peek, and anybody shooting at him ideally hits the shield, not damaging you or him.
Right.
My wife has this habit of putting people, like chasing people into a room where they can't get out. forcing that shield to extend out and then not letting them escape while they capture the objective. She refers to this as baby gating people.
That's really good.
At the start of each round, they'll shout out their classes, but they'll use their special nicknames for them all. Like if one of them's going to go Montang, it'll be like, oh, I'll go Baby Gate. It's the only one I know, but they have a name for like 10 different people.
That's so good.
It's with the downside about not playing it too much with them, but it's also hilarious when I'm sitting on the other side of it. It's like, oh, it's Baby Gate. I've got a Baby Gate, and someone needs to come in and disarm the bomb. It's like, I don't know what's going on. You're speaking a foreign language to me, but I'm glad you all seem to be having fun.
That's really good.
But it's the good side about playing casual is that's when they start doing silly stuff like experimenting with different layouts and different crew members. Like they don't use strats. They just have fun. It's like, okay, I'll go Book because he's got skeleton key and he can just put big holes in walls and I want to see what I can do.
Yeah.
So we played a couple of rounds of casual and I always forget how fun that game is. I don't want to touch the PvP, but that game is really, really fun.
Yeah.
I believe at one point somebody... Oh, we were playing together and there's an achievement in the game for killing someone with a breach charge, which you place a breach charge against a wall, you back away, you push a button, and it creates a door-sized hole in a wall. Mm-hmm. And there's an achievement for killing somebody with them. So there's four of us playing, then our other friend Charlie jumps in. And we were talking like, okay, let's see if we can down somebody so I can get my achievement for breach charge, which I think is called meat wall, which makes me laugh. The way you can actually do it, though, is if you injure somebody but don't kill them, they get incapacitated, fall on the floor, and then you can just put a breach charge next to them and still get the kill.
Oh, okay.
So there is a way around it. So we're talking like that. The fifth person jumps in. We all jump in together as a team. And then one of the girls we were playing with didn't realize that he was on our team, immediately turns around and team kills him at the start of the game so that I can try and get this achievement. It's like, he's in the party. He's one of us. He's not a random. You didn't have to worry about this.
A little too trigger happy.
Yes. But it's a blast. Like, I just love playing that game, even casual. Like, it's just fun to go in, explore the maps. The constant stream of content that they seem to be putting out for that game is again impressive.
Yeah.
Hashtag Ubisoft developer of the year 2014, 15, 16, 17, and 18.
Yeah.
But no, Rainbow Six Siege, still really, really fun.
Yeah.
Two more games to talk about right now because of the one I've forgotten. First things first, let's talk about Echoplex. This is a game which, as we discussed, the developer sent over a code for, and it seems like it's kind of my game. So, full disclosure, I didn't pay for this game.
I watched the trailer for it after they sent me the code, and I was like, I think this is a Moonpier game, for reasons that you'll get into, I'm sure.
Yep, it's 100% a Moonpier game. I'm trying to figure out a way to describe it. It's an first-person puzzle platformer with FMV sequences.
Yes, that's what the press release said. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, you have lost your memory. The memory in question is the FMV sequence, and you have to use this new technology called Mind Rip, which I kind of like the name for it. Like it's a good
cyberpunk term.
Yeah, the start of the game is like an FMV advert for this technology. So you have to use that to go into this portal, which is like a space-time continuum thing. And as you go through these little puzzle levels, you are collecting little cubes. As you collect the cubes, you get to the end of the level. It fills out a big cube, and that reveals a little snippet of the FMV memory.
Okay, and almost like what was Assassin's Creed 2 or Brotherhood, where you're like picking up those fragments and they're making a movie.
Yes, the one for the first civilization when they're running through the trees.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly like that. Like you're getting little fragments of it. I've only played a little bit of it so far. I think I've probably put about maybe 3 hours into it. I'm up to the third set of memories I'm starting to put together. It's really interesting because it refers to, I think it's an echo, and I can't remember what it is, but basically as you're going into it, it comes up with the whole portal safety warnings. And it gives you like, oh, warning, you can only stay alive inside of the rift for such amount of time before you're kicked out of the rift again.
Oh, okay.
So then you only have a certain amount of time to go in, complete this puzzle, and put the memory sequences into the cube. And then after you've done that 3 times, get the next little segment of the FMV sequence. You go back in again. It's like, oh, just so you know, there's this thing called an echo, which is it follows exactly what you do by a certain delay. Okay. So as you run through, like there'll be a lit up section in a corridor that's purple. As you run through that, it will open the purple door. As you run through it again, it closes the purple door.
Oh, okay.
So then you end up with the sequence where it's a T shape, and you run to the left to open the purple door, but it's like a little box. So you open it, stand in there for a little bit, run up opposite to run into the blue section. Stand in there for a little bit, and then you've got to go around the corner, because as you're doing that, the echo comes out behind you. So you've got to get your timing right, so the echo goes into there, opens the purple door for you as you're approaching it, and then has enough delay for you to get through the purple door before he closes it by leaving that area, and then open the blue door as you're approaching the blue door. So it becomes like that kind of manipulation of time. And
you're
your
like
own
thinking
movements.
2 steps ahead.
Exactly. And if you touch your echo, you die.
Oh,
and you have to go back to the beginning. So it's also about avoiding you and knowing, I'm going to go stand in this corner so I can safely stand in the opposite corner to make sure I don't touch myself and accidentally die.
Right.
I just hit I think it's the 3rd or the 4th section right now, which is, it has dark rooms where after you've gone through a certain sequence, you'll go through a door, it turns everything dark and basically shifts the reality. Oh. So the first one I did was you go through this room, this door, it turns everything dark on you. You go through the blue switchy thing to open the blue door, but then as you drop down, the blue door's not there anymore. So you've got to shift reality to hit into the blue gate, time it so that your echo comes up to you. You've got to avoid them as you're going back and go back into the original reality to open the blue door. So already this is only like 3 hours in, something like that, and it's layering more and more puzzle stages on top of each other.
Man.
All the meanwhile, I'm getting this cool little FMV sequence of the first one was like an arm with the telephone number written on it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what's going on yet.
That sounds really cool.
It's actually been really interesting so far. I don't know how much it is. So we'll actually,
I'll look it up here.
You can look it up. But so far, what I've played is actually really, really interesting. So
I mean, Steam, it is $15.
There you go. If it sounds like you're interested in another FMV first-person puzzle platformer game, it might well be worth dropping those $15 because I'm actually enjoying it a lot. It does a really good job of bringing you into this world. Even gives you a weird mask to put over your face at the start of the game. It's a real hand putting a mask over, so it kind of allows you to insert yourself into the character. But it's cool. So far it's been genuinely kind of fun.
Yeah. So
we'll see how things go further on. I'm going to try and hopefully get that finished by next week. We shall see.
So check out Echoplex.
Final game this week because I couldn't not do it. I couldn't not do it. It's Burnout Paradise Remastered.
Oh.
Which, what's that thing that EA does? The thing they do on the Xbox. That's the one. We got 10% off because my wife is an EA Access member. So,
nice.
Even better. So hey, Burnout Paradise. Did you like the first one? That's not a question for you because I know you didn't actually play the first one.
I very much respect Burnout Paradise. I don't personally love it, but I do know it is a very good game. If you've never played Burnout Paradise, like, for God's sakes, go play it.
Yep. It is still great. Yep. It is absolutely fantastic. DJ Atomica's back. They got the full soundtrack back in the game again. The DLC is all included with this remastered version as well, which makes it so much greater as well.
There's a ton of DLC, and I forgot how much like special car stuff they put in there. Where like it's the fake DeLorean, It's
Mm-hmm.
like the Ecto-1 or whatever from Ghostbusters.
Yep. It's, I believe, the Interceptor. No, not the Interceptor. Not Mad Max's car. The Dukes of Hazzard car.
Oh,
Whatever that thing's
that
name
thing.
is.
The General Lee.
That's the one. I'm pretty sure that's in there, and so is Kit.
Nice.
Because why not? They're not actually licensed, but they are in there.
Yeah.
And this, I'm not gonna lie, it feels good to be playing one of the games of last generation.
It's coming back home.
Yeah, because I was talking to my wife about it because I don't know if we discussed it last week, but the Burnout series is one of my favorite racing game series of all times.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I think Forza is probably right up there as well, but Burnout Paradise is the greatest racing game I've ever played. I know my wife has no experience with the Burnout series, so I was trying to explain to her what the differences were, and I realized I can actually do it quite easily.
Okay.
The Forza games, the Gran Turismo games, these modern day racing games, these are all precision racing games.
Mm-hmm.
These are games which they feel good to drive. Like
they take the love of cars seriously.
Yes, and they do that in such a way. I don't know about the new Gran Turismo games, but Forza in this case, it feels right when you're driving it. You're using a little stick, but it feels like you're driving a big hunk of metal.
Yeah.
Burnout does the same thing, except you've got to approach it from a different angle. You can't approach Paradise from a precision standpoint. It's an instinctual standpoint.
Right.
That's the biggest difference between the two series. Is the Forza games are precision driving games where you know what you need to do. It's brake, see your apexes, turn in, accelerate out the corners. So it's all about having that precision, that line of sight to plan that corner out and execute it perfectly. Whereas Burnout is, oh, is that the corner I need to take? Hardcore brake, turn, drift, slide around the corner.
200 miles an hour.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so much more about your instinctual driving versus your mathematical precision driving. And Forza does the precision stuff perfectly. We talked several weeks ago. Screw the drift zones in Forza.
You know, Mackie, from the No Quarters and Bamfcast, said it best in our Discord, saying like, the Forza and Forza Horizon throughout the entirety of the games educate you that drifting is bad. Like you just said, you follow your line, you decelerate, you accelerate, like you keep that clean line and you race clean, and then all of a sudden it's like you go drift like you've never drifted before. It's like I don't know how. Like I've not been picking the cars that drift because you lose races that way. And I thought that was a really great point that I hadn't fully put together.
Yeah, and when I read that, I thought, well, nobody's going to be able to put it better than that.
Yeah.
Burnout's the opposite of that, where Burnout is like, you want to go sideways around this corner? Go for it. In fact, in some cars, you better be going sideways because otherwise you ain't going to make the corner.
Right.
But it becomes a case of you're not going sideways, you're going backwards, drifting around the corner, and then you have to write yourself out in time.
Your tail is going first.
Yes.
But I think the thing that that is so important in Burnout Paradise, but was less important in the other Burnout games, is the same thing that I liked Split Second for, where it's those are more arcadey. Well, those are arcade racing games as opposed to, on the spectrum. Forza's somewhere in the middle, and then Gran Turismo and stuff is getting further towards the simulation end of the racing games.
Project Cars is right on that very far simulation.
It's like the pendulum is 90 degrees. But how Burnout Paradise and Split Second, those felt good the same way that you were talking about how Forza and Gran Turismo feel right for some more simulation racing games. These feel perfect as arcade racing games. So like like you're saying, you want to take a turn, and you just immediately, after maybe 10 minutes of playing Burnout Paradise, because it really doesn't it doesn't hold your hand for very long. Maybe
No, it does not. It gives you maybe 4 or 5 races to get into the swing of things.
well, and it gives
then,
you like that sort of longish intro, and you put your name and your picture if you have a camera. That's supported on one platform but not the other. I don't remember which one. But like after that, it's just sort of like, okay, go race.
Yep.
Like, go do your thing, and really, really quickly you figure that out, and you rewire your brain to race in Burnout Paradise pretty quickly, and from right there, like, you're good.
Yeah, it's, to be honest, I forgot how. I mean, it's a big map. Like Paradise City in the game is big, but I forgot how compressed everything in it is, because something I didn't remember until I reloaded this time is it basically has 6 finishing points, which, as it describes it, it's the 8 finishing points.
Oh, yeah, like where races finish?
Yeah, it has 8 finish lines in the game, and that's the 8 points on a compass. It's like north, south, east, west, and all the diagonals.
I didn't even realize that, yeah.
And the key to the game is every single intersection that has a traffic light is a race start, or is an event start.
Right.
So you can be on the very far west of the map and think, well, I want to go all the way over here because I've got this burning route that I need to do over here. How am I going to get there as quick as I can? And then you just look on your map like, well, there's a race right there. You hold X and it's like, okay, yeah, that point for the finish line for that one is on the east. So I'll just go do that race and get over there naturally by doing the race.
Right.
And it does the thing where it doesn't give you a GPS. It doesn't give you a route. It's like, this is the city. Figure it out.
Just get there.
Like, it has a compass and it gives you the objective marker, and it does do... I love it and I hate it. It does the thing where at the very top of the screen it's got the road sign of the road that you were on.
Right.
When it recommends you make a turn, a flashing road sign will appear from the side to say what direction you're going to turn.
Right.
So you turn right, and then as it hits the middle is when that junction is coming up, so that's when you should be turning. But you can find all kinds of shortcuts. You can take a different route if you want. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a couple of roads in the game that I absolutely hate because I always crash on them. So if I know the road is there, I will deliberately not make a turn down that road and just go past it and then turn later to get to the same objective, just using a different route. The biggest downside for this game for most people when it comes to racing games is it doesn't have licensed cars. Which, yeah, that sucks.
Burnout never really did, though.
It never did, for a very good reason, though. Because people don't want to see their licensed vehicles get smashed into 5 bajillion pieces.
Yeah, thankfully that's been less of an issue over the last couple of years, but it's only been the last couple of years that manufacturers are even starting to make inroads on that. Like, it's not even like I crashed my car and it crumpled up into a cube. It's sort of like there's some dents and dings, and the manufacturer's like, okay, well that's as far as we're gonna go.
Yep, I think I actually talked about that with Need for Speed Payback when I started playing that.
Yeah,
it's, you get the windshield shatters. You've just done 17 barrel rolls down the side of a mountain. You've got a shattered windshield. Your headlights are out, and your wing mirrors are detached, and you've got a couple of scrapes and bumps. Burnout Paradise, you hit like this tiniest section of this like bollard in the center of the road,
right?
And before you know it, you're literally just a frame of a car with no bodywork, no tires, no glass, no nothing. And it did slow-mo right before slow-mo was popular, and it does the whole crumple thing where you hit something and it's just like...
It just feels so good.
Yep. And I absolutely love that aspect of the game. The base game has 75 cars in it, by the way.
Yeah.
So I'm in the process of unlocking them. I have my A-class driver's license already, because why not? Let's just race around constantly.
Yeah.
And for the record, this is in 2 days. Jeez. I'm up to my A-class in 2 days because I bought it on Friday and started playing it then.
You know, the one thing I did want to mention about Burnout Paradise is there seems to only be 2 things that people remember about this game. One is Avril Lavigne.
And the other is Paradise City.
No, the other one is, for some reason, people got it into their head that EA never patched this out. But EA fixed the one big problem with Burnout Paradise when it launched, which was...
a quick restart.
If you failed a race, originally, if you failed a race, you had to drive back to the starting point to then do it again. They fixed that at some point. That is in this version That's not a problem. You just quick restart the last race you were in. It's not a problem. Don't.
Which, yeah, as Mackie pointed out on Twitter, for those who don't know what it is or don't know, never learned it, it's the D-pad. You hit right on the D-pad and it brings up the menu, which allows you to jump to online mode, free roam mode, everything like that.
D-pad does a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and right there it does say restart last event.
Yeah.
I do love the fact that the game's great, it just doesn't do a good job with certain things of tutorializing. Like, if you hit up on the D-pad, it switches basically your scoreboards on the fly. So if you've got the green road signs at the top, that's basically just offline mode. That's you playing by yourself. If you hit up once, it turns those road signs red and says offline times. And that is... the amount of stuff you can do in this game is bonkers. Every intersection is a race. Every road has a road rule time, which is get from the start of that road to the end of the road as quick as you can and beat the leaderboard for it. BJ from Vampcast, you are my nightmare because you played way too much Burnout Paradise.
You're just too good.
He is on my leaderboards consistently. Jeez. But you can beat the offline stuff. Then you've got the online ones. Then you've got offline crash mode or what? Showdown mode or whatever it's called.
Something like that, yeah.
Where basically, as you're driving down the street, you just blow up your car and go into crash mode and start front flipping off buses, gaining off stuff, and you get a boost where you can explode again and keep going, do as much damage as you can. Like, on top of that, it's
500 online challenges.
Yep, like some of which are 8-player online challenges, and it's really fun to just jump into an online lobby with 8 people, and it'll just randomize the challenges for you, and be like, okay, everybody go make this jump off this ramp, just make it over this little building, everybody go do that, and then you go do that, and
8 of you need to do donuts inside of the baseball stadium.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So much stupid stuff like that, but it's so much fun because all of a sudden you've got people driving to the same location and then just everybody having a chill hangout time where you're all doing donuts, doing the diamond, getting a home run just for fun.
Right.
How much content they have in this game is unbelievable. That doesn't even start to include Big Surf Island or the Toy Cars DLC where you can use a remote control car on the actual streets. Like
or the bikes DLC, the motorcycles one.
Exactly. There's so much stuff in this game, and if you've never played it, now is a good time. The game, don't get me wrong, it looks a little dated. It's one of the first things my wife said to me was it's showing its age a little bit. Even the remastered version, yes it is.
Yep.
It's got a lot more smooth edges than it used to have. But at the same time, it runs at 60 frames a second. That control still feels as tight as it ever did. It doesn't feel like it's been messed with the controls in any way, shape or form. And it still feels good to drift around the corner at like 250 mile an hour.
Yeah.
Because I think the last game to do it this well, I think I would put them on par with each other, would be Split Second. The sensation of speed you get in both that and this is truly incredible. Where I think a long time ago I spoke about Rainbow Six Siege and I said it's the only shooter game I've ever played where I get tunnel vision. Where literally the rest of the screen will start to fade out, and all I'm seeing is what is in my iron sights. Burnout Paradise is the racing game that does that to me, where I'm not seeing anything else other than the horizon to see if there are, not the Forza horizon, but the street horizon. I'm only seeing that horizon to check for cars, because I always drive in oncoming. That's just the way I do.
Well, yeah.
Yes. And the turns. So it's just that sensation of speed is so fantastic. And in case my praises weren't enough, if you're a fan of Giant Bomb, you've probably heard so many people over there praise this game as well.
Yeah.
Like, it, in my opinion, is probably the greatest racing game of all time.
Yeah.
Now's a good time to jump in if you haven't played it.
It's only $40.
Give it a shot.
It comes with a ridiculous amount of content.
Oh yeah, give it a shot if you want to hang out and have some free burn time together, which is the name of the multiplayer mode. That's not like a reference to any illicit materials.
Right.
But yeah, if you want to hang out, drop me a message one day, one evening. We'll chill out, do a couple of challenges, because it goes all the way from single player, I think 2-player lobby challenges, all the way up to 8. So get in touch, hang out, jump some bridges. But yeah, that's all I've been playing this week.
I played a bunch of Diablo 3.
Oh no, come on, again?
Yeah, the majority of it was seasons this week. Season 13 is underway right now. The really addictive thing about seasons are these what do they call them? Challenges. And you have
I haven't touched the season mode at all in this game because it scares me a little bit.
It's actually not that bad. It's sort of like you're speed running Diablo 3. Is you have all these challenges. You have basically 4 main categories, and then you have 5 pretty advanced categories after that. And a lot of the 4 main categories are like defeat Diablo, defeat Malthael, you know, the DLC boss. You know, like socket a gem into an item. You know, a lot of the easy stuff. I think the hardest stuff in the original set of 4 is like reach level 20 in a greater rift, which is basically, I think level 20 is around like Torment 2.
Yeah, I think it is.
What's that?
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not that bad. You just sort of have to keep running it over and over until you get up to that point. Where I really kicked it into gear was after those, and then the challenges start getting really hard. Where it's like, finish a normal rift in under 4 minutes. Which isn't that bad once you sort of start min-maxing. I'm on to the 3rd set of harder challenges. And I am now comfortably at very little risk playing on Torment 10.
Oh, wow.
Which
I think I got up to like Torment. I think my character can probably solo, I think Torment 7 easily, 8 okay, and I think Torment 9 I was pushing myself if I was trying to do that. Yeah,
10 for me right now is safe. Anything above that, I've min-maxed my build so much that I'm doing so much damage. So I typically run a Demon Hunter, and I'm using the Marauder equipment. So I'm running this sort of fire and ice build, where I have 5 pieces of gear, and then I'm using the 1 ring that will give you
the rule over them all.
Yes, that one. It gives you you can remove one of your set pieces, and you can still keep the full set bonus.
Yeah, I've got the same thing. I've got that
Ring of
activated.
Royal Grandeur.
Yes. I've got that thing activated on the cube of whatever its face, so I always have that activated.
Cube? Kunai's
yep.
Cube? Yeah,
that's the one.
The cube. And then basically I'm using Elemental Arrow, and then I'm using whatever the explosion-y fire attack is. But because of that build, my DPS on my character screen is 1,000,000. And I am normal hitting, not critting, for around 300 to 400 million per shot.
Okay.
And because I'm using Elemental Arrow, it will hit 1 enemy and then hit up to 15. And because of my build, every time I have a sentry out, I'm doing 3,000% more damage, and I can have 4 out at once. So the amount of damage I'm doing at any one time is legitimately ridiculous.
Yeah, you broke it.
And I'm still having trouble getting to the next steps. And I feel like I've sort of petered out on doing a lot of the challenges in the season. One, because the last time I played this, I was still playing, and there were rift fragments to get into rifts. This is before they redid the rift system. Now it's, you run a normal Nephilim rift, you don't need anything, and the boss drops a greater rift thing. One of those gets you in a greater rift. Yeah,
that's the rifts I understand. I played it at that point, not before that.
Before that, it was this complicated system of, like, you pick up fragments out in the world, and then you take a number of those and make into keys that would then get you into... It was too complicated, and it was just... The number of fragments and keys that each individual person in your party needed was way too much. And you were just sort of farming for no good reason. I like this system because if you want to do rifts, you just do rifts to then go do the harder ones.
Yeah.
Part of the revamp on the rift system is the legendary gems, where you socket them into your rings or your amulets, and they do cool stuff. Part of that is if you finish a greater rift, you have a chance to upgrade the legendary gems you have.
Yep.
By the point that I'm at in the season challenges, I have to get like 5 of those up to level 35.
Yeah. I think I've got 2 or 3 up to like level 10, and that's about it.
I have 1 up to 40, I think, and a couple up to like 20. That's a lot of rifts to run. Like, I like doing them, but I feel like some of those challenges are sort of maybe a little bit more grindy than I want to do in my loot grind game. As crazy as that sounds.
I'll be honest, that's where I pretty much tapped out of Diablo 3. Like, I did a whole bunch of stuff. I loved playing Diablo 3. I loved playing the game. I loved the spec out stuff. That's actually a game I played a lot with Harlow and Mackie over at BMF/No Quarters. I played a lot with them and really enjoyed my time with it. But then you hit that point, and it's just like, I don't think I've got it in me for the super duper grind.
And like, I need more gear that's of a better quality so I can get more health and armor, because that's my real, like, if I run into the wrong elite enemy, I basically get one-shotted. I can kill them very quickly, but I am, unsurprisingly
super squishy. Yeah.
So that's sort of the point where I don't want to keep rolling for a better version of the same gear I'm running with. And I don't really want to run another build because I kind of don't like the rest of them for the Demon Hunter. So that's sort of the point where it's like, well, maybe I'll start a new character. And I figured I would start the Necromancer, the new character from the Necromancer DLC. That's a really crazy class. Like,
I haven't even seen anything to do with them.
I think I'm at level about 15 or so. And I'm like Paragon level 250, something like that. So I'm starting off with a pretty nice bonus at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
It's really weird because part of it is you're summoning followers, and they sort of hang out for a little bit, do a bunch of damage, and then disappear. You're also raising a skeleton army for the build I'm going for, which is really fun. I haven't looked up any builds yet, so I'm not sure if I'm like... I don't really worry until very end game if I'm like, quote-unquote, doing it right. I'm just sort of like, raise a skeleton army, hell yeah!
Yeah, that's the thing I run into with it. Like, I think the biggest issue I run into with the end game in that is I built my crusade. I played the game once as a crusader. I played exactly how I wanted to. I leveled how I wanted to. I'm at that point now where if I'm wanting to jump any higher in the difficulties in the loot grind, I need to basically respec him completely and go with a quote-unquote build because I'm not specialized enough in one particular thing. Right. Like, I've done what I can to make him specialized towards certain aspects of it, but I'm sure there's 10 things I'm missing that other people who've played way too much of this game will know immediately. Oh, you shouldn't have a point in that, you should have it in that, you shouldn't have that skill or that skill, use these 2 other skills instead. Like, and when it comes to the point where I have to Google like what I need to do to make my character better, it's like, I might be out at this point.
Yeah. So I'm sort of having fun just kind of playing around with all the different skills. The one that seems incredibly overpowered at this point is when you kill an enemy, unlike with the other classes, it leaves a corpse there. And I have one of the it's like my R2 button. It's basically like a ghost mage that I can summon. They also leave corpses, and one of your main abilities is just blowing those corpses up. And when you blow one up, it sort of starts a chain reaction. And
oh wow,
if you're killing a bunch of people, you're like blowing up 50 corpses all at once and doing a ton of damage to just anything in any radius around you.
Oh, wow.
And it's pretty fun.
Oh, don't start this because I might have to go out and buy the DLC, and I don't do DLC.
Yeah. The great part about it is it's still Diablo 3. You know, the adventure mode is still really great. The single player, the story stuff is good. You know, the seasons are here on console, so if you want to start a new character, you can just... The great part about seasons now, too, is when you finish those first 4 sets of challenges, each challenge category, they give you a set of armor for 2, 3, and 4. So basically, by the time you're done with that, you have an entire set of green armor for your character.
Yeah.
And that's really great, because at that point, it's like, now I'm incredibly powerful. I can just start doing some high-level stuff. So if you wanted to play as a new class like that, or a class you've never tried before, seasons are really good, because at the end of it, you get to have a cool build to try out.
Yeah.
I think that's really fun. I knew I'd be in trouble when I bought a digital copy of Diablo 3. And yes, I am, but I can sort of feel myself pulling away from it now, because I'm getting back into that habit of, all right, I need to min-max this, I need to spend, I need to farm bounties. And it's like, I would rather put it down for a while and then come back and play another season or another character on the season or something like that, instead of playing the same character and doing the same content over and over again.
Yeah. When the season's over, can you bring that character back and just have it in normal mode, or is that character deleted at the end of the season?
That's sort of a part where I'm confused, because there are a lot of articles about it, but I think they've changed some stuff over time. So I think you have 2 options. I think you have one option of rolling that character in a normal mode with all of its gear, or taking the character and re-rolling it for the next season and sort of carrying it forward, and you take that character and you basically wipe the slate completely clean and start back over on the next season.
Okay.
I don't necessarily understand what the benefits are of either one of those, so I'm sort of waiting for Season 13 to finish. It just started like 2 or 3 weeks ago, so it's probably going to last for a while. But I'm pretty curious to see what's going to happen at the end of that, because that's one of the strongest characters I've made, and if I can carry over that to just my normal, non-seasonal character roster, that would be pretty great.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But yes, Diablo 3, shockingly, still great. News at 11. I have a tale of woe here.
Oh no.
Amazon recently had a super sale on Lego Marvel Superheroes 2.
Oh no.
And it was $20. I was like, okay, that is the perfect price for virtually any game, especially for a Lego game that I have not yet played. Let's scoop it up.
Yep. I'm trying to remember if that's the one I picked up. It might be. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah. It's I've only played a little bit of the first level. You start off as the Guardians of the Galaxy and fighting Kang.
Nope. Not the game I've got.
Oh, interesting. I think this is the most recent game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, if the Guardians are in it, because the one I've got covers... It's Lego Marvel's Avengers, but it covers the first 2 Avengers movies, so it's not a Lego Marvel Heroes, which covers the first Avengers movie.
Right.
So I think you're the one after Guardians when they started to properly tie everything all in.
Yeah.
So many Lego games.
What I didn't realize... So pop the game in, installed it, patched it, standard stuff. I go to look at the store because I typically really like... Oddly, I really like the DLC for the Lego games.
Mm-hmm.
And they had like 6 or 7 packs that were between $5 or $7. And a lot of them were fun. It's like, here's a Cloak and Dagger one. Here's a Black Panther one.
Yeah.
And then the season pass, which was only $15. I was like, okay, I bought this on super sale. All of these packs look cool. You're going to save like 60% of the price by buying the season pass. I'll chuck them $15.
So how many did you not get?
I got all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, thankfully the season pack
to be the
was very clear, where it's like, you get these 6 packs, here are the names of them, you look at the store, that's just all of them.
Okay, good.
What I didn't realize, so I download them, and they say waiting to install, which on the PS4, if you've started a game before and you go to install the DLC, it usually just installs in the background. Sometimes you have to start the game and installs it as the game is starting. It didn't do that this time. I was like, well, that's weird. Why can't I install this stuff? So do the normal thing of quit the game, close it, open it back up, not working.
Did you get the gold edition?
No, I got something way worse. So I tried to go to the store from in the game, just to say, let's just try installing from there. I cannot load the store. I was like, well, that's fishy. Wait a minute, what happened? They sent me the UK version.
Oh my word.
Which, to be fair, PS4 is region-free, so it installs and it works.
But it recognizes it as...
with the American store.
Yep. It recognizes it as a UK-based copy, and the stores are all region-locked.
Yep. So I have a European Peggy 7 copy of Lego
How did
Marvel's.
that not immediately make you...
Honestly, I didn't even notice it, because, I mean, it's in the same place, and I don't even look at it anymore.
Yeah.
So, and now I have North American DLC on a European copy, and it's like, okay, that's fine, mistakes happen, I bought it from Amazon, let me try to exchange this for just a brand new one, and I'll say, hey, I got the UK copy, I just need you to send me
the US version,
the North American one, and we can just swapsies.
Yep.
My only option was to return it. I was like, well, that's weird for Amazon. I go to look, 100% sold out. I was like, well, that's odd, but it was $20, why not? And I saw the reviews were flooded with complaints mine, where it's like, hey, Amazon sent me the UK version, and I really kind of can't use it with all the DLC. And I was like, okay. So...
was this an Amazon seller, or was it an Amazon fulfiller?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because that's what I thought. I was like, oh, okay, I bought it from like a UK Amazon seller by accident. It was just the cheapest price. You know, that was on me. I made a mistake. No, it was full on Amazon. Not even Amazon warehouse or, you know, Amazon approved seller. Just... So I now have to return this copy and then buy another copy from a seller for only like $3 more, and hopefully I will get
the US
version. Because I can't. The problem is like all this trouble is because it's $20, and if you go into Best Buy or Target or some of these places, it's still going to be $60. Which fine. I mean, if you can continue to get that much money for this game, why not? But and I just canceled my GameFly because I've had Quantum Break for about 6 months and I haven't played it, so...
Yep, I saw a screenshot of that on Twitter once and was very excited to talk about it, and you still haven't talked about it, which means you still haven't even beat the intro sequence yet.
Yeah, I might have just played... Well, the problem is I played about 10 minutes and it got super sweary immediately, and I didn't realize it was an M game instead of...
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, like it. Same thing with this copy of Lego Marvel Superheroes. It's like, yeah, just gonna pop it on PS4 and play it. It's Peggy 7, but so I would have to play it with headphones, which my kid wants to eat the headphones when they are attached to my ears because she thinks they're hurting me. So I don't know when I'm gonna find time. I should probably just install it on my PC, and as it's probably cross-buy?
I believe it is cross-buy.
If not, it's probably like $10 somewhere. I should probably just do that and play it on my PC. But yeah, but I got to the point where I was in a tent and one of the TVs had the Alan Wake live-action miniseries playing on it, and I watched that and I was like, yeah, that's right, Remedy is great. I forgot about this.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
My game of the year for that year.
Yeah. So I'm excited to play it, but I just need to find somewhere to do so. I haven't really talked about it on the show, but I'm taking some online classes for training to eventually re-enter the workforce, and I'm starting to work out again. So the amount of time I have to play stuff during the day either has to be pause and kid friendly, or it is not happening.
Yep.
So my time during the day is much, much shorter. And last but not least, I got an invite to the iOS version of Fortnite we talked about last week, where it's, hey, how's this thing gonna work?
Come on, tell me, how does it work? Is it black magic? Is it levelator?
Yeah, it is black magic, because, man, first off, it's full Fortnite, which is not that surprising, because it's not that big of a game.
Hey, hold on, is it full Fortnite or full Fortnite Battle Royale?
Sorry, full Fortnite Battle Royale. So as I say Fortnite, during this, it is Battle Royale, and I'm talking about Battle Royale and not, like, PvE Fortnite.
Yes.
Unfortunately, because I would still really like to play PvE Fortnite. It runs really well. Like, it runs incredibly smoothly.
Let's clarify as well, really quick.
Yeah.
Model of phone.
I'm running an iPhone 8.
Okay.
8 Plus? Whatever the most... No, I'm running a... Yeah, whatever the latest model of the 8 is, but not the big one. Not the Plus, just the regular size one.
Okay.
I don't have an iPhone 10 because I'm not rich. It runs really, really smoothly. Any hitches I had were definitely connection problems on my end and not performance problems.
Yep.
So that was really nice to see. I had never played Fortnite before, so I know the things that they added were, because they have to assume you might not be playing it with sound on.
Yep.
So
which is more than likely on a phone.
Yeah. There is a sort of a large ring that is invisible for the majority of the match, but it will show you, almost like it's Metal Gear Solid, it shows you footsteps and gunshots, and the farther out the ring sort of pings, then that's how close the footsteps or the gunshots are.
See, I'm curious because that kind of seems a little bit naughty, because if they don't have that option in the actual console game and it depends on your hearing,
right,
that's kind of mean, because I've played PUBG and I can hear a gunshot and get a general direction, but nothing specific.
Yeah, I since this is still in beta, I'm not sure if they're gonna add it to the console version and like the PC versions or not.
Yeah.
I would sort of assume, just for accessibility's sake, but it seems to me from the couple of matches I played on the iPhone, if you're seeing those notices, you're probably going to get shot and killed within the next couple seconds anyway, so I'm not sure how much of a leg up it really gives you.
That's not an iPhone thing, that's a you thing. Well,
that's fair. But I mean, it doesn't show you like someone's not firing 3 miles off and it's showing you like, oh, it's someone shooting 3 miles away. It really is. Someone has to be pretty close to you for that stuff to show up on your screen.
Did you ever play Peace Walker?
Yes.
Is it like the sound alert thing in there?
Where it's the circle that's exactly what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Where it's like the sound waves are bigger as the thing is closer to you.
Yep.
But it's usually someone's behind you and they have a shotgun. Whoops, you're dead.
Yep. Konami did it first.
Yes. Simpsons did it. I played a couple of matches in this. I had a really great time playing it, and I think the biggest benefit for me on this is it's a really good advertisement for the other versions of Fortnite, so I downloaded it for PS4 because I remembered it's free. And I played a couple of matches on that.
Oh. The
PvP
version's good.
What's that?
The PvE version's really good.
Yeah, I keep looking out for sales just for the PvE version, just to see. But I just downloaded the Battle Royale because, 1, it's free, and 2, it's not PUBG. To clarify, I'm not a PUBG hater. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, shut up about PUBG, come on. I get it. I don't like the style of PUBG. I think it's a little too drab. I really like the style of Fortnite because it's big, it's blizzardy, it's super very anime. Bright. The map is much smaller than PUBG, which I really dig.
Yeah.
And the building stuff is fun when you're, you know, you can, across the map, you have a sniper rifle and you're seeing someone building a treehouse. It's like, okay, just, I'm going to wait for you to peek out and snipe you.
I didn't really get the whole thing to do with how big Fortnite was suddenly getting until I started seeing GIFs on Twitter of people using the building stuff to win.
Yep.
And it's just like, okay, I don't know how you did that on a keyboard.
Right.
Like the speed that you managed to construct that madman's tower that you're suddenly residing in.
Yeah.
It boggles my mind.
It seems like the options... Again, I haven't played the PvE. It seems like the options on PvP are really are much smaller. Like when you on the console, when you're paging through, I think it's like circle to pull up your build menu, and then you really only get 4 options, where it's like floor, walls, stairs, and then one thing else.
It's like chopped off pyramids. It's that kind of shape. Where it's like a pyramid with the chopped off
one.
It is.
Okay. But like, it's very quick about hit this button, scroll through this menu real quick, start mashing it as you're climbing the side of a cliff and building, like the little Excite bike things.
That kind of shape.
And, you know, mash the button as you're climbing up this thing you're building while you're trying to get up a cliff with your sniper rifle. I played a couple matches and I really like it. I have always understood why people really like Battle Royale games, and why they're so popular. I don't really have the bandwidth, not like personal bandwidth and not internet bandwidth, to play something like this where you do have to put the time in to get good or get a good squad or something like that. Because like I mentioned in the pre-show, I'm often being used as a jungle gym, and the level of precision for Battle Royale games is pretty significant.
Yeah, it's bad enough with just cats, let alone with kids as well. Like, I was trying to play Burnout Paradise when you've got a cat sitting on your steering hand. And it's kind of difficult. I can only imagine how bad that would be with a kid. Yeah,
so, and it's very much like, you know, there's no music, you're just trying to listen to the sound effects of someone building or someone sniping or something like that, and you have a baby that is very quickly trying to put sentences together. Those are at odds.
Love it.
So Fortnite seems really great. I really need to find a pretty reasonably priced copy of the PvE, because I think that's what I would like even more, is I like the idea of just building a really big impenetrable fortress and fighting off the zombies. I think that sounds really great.
It's really cool.
See if we can find a cheap Xbox One copy and Moonpier and I can do TVGP Playdate.
Get ready to have your fortress have all kind of phallic symbols all over it, especially if my wife gets in.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm friends with your wife on Xbox. If I buy that, I might have to remove your wife.
Yes.
But that's all I've been playing this week, so let's take a break.
Let's.
I just got a vet update from my wife about Scuttle.
Oh.
Wow, okay.
Good news, bad news? Middle of the ground news?
Not great. So basically, my vet, she thinks that Scuttle has a bunch of intestinal scarring. So he keeps losing weight, and he's down to like 12 pounds. And for a cat that big, that is really thin. So she thinks he's not absorbing food, even though he's eating like crazy. And we're trying all of these things before we put him on steroids, because basically steroids are the last option before, you know, he's got to go. And the vet put him on steroids today.
Oh, jeez.
So we've got, what did she say, 1 month of oral steroids, and if that works, they'll give him a 3-month shot. So we'll see. It's sort of unfortunate because, like, if he won't absorb food, then he won't gain weight, and you kind of don't come back from that. You know, not to be like a Debbie Downer, but realistically, like, if he can't gain weight, all he's going to do is suffer. So.
Mm-hmm. On a lighter-sided note, when my wife went to see Tomb Raider yesterday, she ran into a drug dealer.
Okay. One of the youths, I guess if you're listening to Outcast, these are peanut butter patties?
Yes.
Oh, those are called something different out there.
Which are Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah.
Which has this whole bunch of bullshit down the side here about the Girl Scout code or whatever they're trying to teach, when secretly they're just crack dealers.
What do they call them out here? That version they call something different out here. Meet the cookies. Sure.
Well, there are different peanut butter ones, because she did call me and ask me if I wanted any drugs.
Tagalongs.
Oh, okay.
That's what they call them out here. They do have a gluten-free one now that I like, the Toffee-tastic.
Interesting.
They are very good.
But yeah, my wife picked up like 3 boxes of them. And
Mechanical Beak asks, "Hey Moon, have you heard the rumors that Ubisoft is making a new Splinter Cell?"
don't tease me. Don't tease me with that stuff.
Yeah.
But just for the record, I haven't had any of these, and they were bought yesterday.
10 out of 15 are gone.
Yes. Yeah, don't tease me with that Splinter Cell stuff. Especially now that you've said that, I will have to tell my wife, and then we will both lose our mind.
Can't you just wait until E3?
No, I can't, because she doesn't watch E3, and she demands that I don't watch E3 around her.
That's surprising.
It is and it isn't, but I think she learned not this year's E3 when I did it for the show, but the year before we did it for the show as well, and I watched it with her. But the problem is I love my wife. She gets sucked into hype like that.
Ah, that makes sense. So you don't want to get on the biggest hype train of the year?
Exactly, because then before I know it, we've got 15 games pre-ordered, and I've still got 300 installed
and a new
on
Xbox and TV and
exactly
the Elite 2.
So my wife breaks stuff a lot. Like she just breaks things. We got new coats, Battlefield 1 coats, which were on sale for like $20. So we picked up one each, as they're a good spring to summer kind of coat, because they're nice and lightweight but still thick enough to be okay. I didn't have any middle coats. I've got a leather jacket and hoodies. That's my wardrobe pretty much. So we bought them. Hers is already missing a button. She broke an Elite controller in a week, sent it back to Microsoft, and broke the replacement in another week, and the replacement for that is lost in the mail. So we have $150 out there somewhere in the mail system, waiting to either get back to us or finally make it to Microsoft.
Yeah.
I bought her a replacement controller, which she demanded that she's not allowed to use because she didn't buy it, because she had one on the way back anyway. So now she's using my broken Elite controller because she misses the Elite controller. Right. I told her, I'll buy you a new one. She's like, no, I'm going to get the Elite 2 when that comes out instead. She's also wants the Elite 2. She's like, if the Elite 2 comes out, then I'll get that instead. Yeah,
I mean, that's... The rumors seem to keep getting stronger about the new Elite, so that's probably the safest.
The price drop as well is a good indication that that's
they're not going to drop the price either otherwise.
Yeah, but yeah, if we watch E3 together, like, no joke, we order like 15 games daily.
She says Amazon open.
Yes, pretty much exactly. And fun fact about my wife and I, Splinter Cell is one of the games we first bonded over. Like, that's how we became friends in Grand Theft Auto 5, which is hilarious to me.
Yeah.
We became really good friends by playing through Blacklist, was it? The one where it wasn't the amazing voice guy. What's that guy's name?
That was... Yeah, I don't remember what that one was called.
I think it was Blacklist. Like, the most recent one released, we played that all through together and got the full 1,000 gamer score on it together.
Wow.
So yeah, Splinter Cell kind of has that game has influenced a lot of my life. I played it with my dad for the OG ones, and I kept on playing it with my dad until Blacklist, and then I played Blacklist with my now wife.
Yeah.
So Splinter Cell kind of has a really good, strong place in my heart, and if they're making a new one, it's going to be, I will buy it and play it day one, I don't care.
I feel like it's about the right time for that to come back, especially with how big Hitman was.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, also, Fortnite is still full price.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't seem like there's a physical copy of that anymore.
No, isn't it hilarious? The physical copy was the one that was actually before the game was released. The game still technically isn't out yet.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't need to now that Battle Royale took off. Man.
I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of excited for E3. Isn't that only like 3 weeks away?
Let's look. E3 2018. June something. June 12th to 14th.
It's like 6 weeks away.
3 months away.
Oh yeah, I forgot about May.
Yeah.
I was thinking, oh, it's like March, April,
right around
June.
the corner. For people that are going, it's probably already... People are already scheduling their stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Man. So, yeah, maybe not Fortnite PvE for a while. Until it goes on sale. That's just like a Fortnite has always been one of those games that I keep seeing and looking at it and being like, the PvE mode, and saying like, yeah, that seems like someone made a game for me.
The funny thing about it is like we got the Founders Pack, one of them, the Standard Edition one. Again, it's the hype thing. Just bought Fortnite on hype alone.
Right.
We talked in the episode about it coming out that day, like that week, and we were talking about, like, I even said on that episode, I ain't going to buy it until I know what it is, until I get more feedback on it. We finished that episode, I walked into the living room, my wife was like, I bought Fortnite.
Son of a bitch.
This is what I'm talking about.
Right.
But yeah, the Founders Pack, they do a really interesting thing where they do the daily log-on rewards thing.
Yeah.
And they do the best version of it, though. If you miss a day, it doesn't reset you back. It just keeps
it's
the
like
day going.
Marvel Puzzle Quest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Fortnite has 2 of them. Like when you buy a Founders Pack, you get a second daily log-on reward.
Yeah, I saw that they have that in the Battle Royale too.
Yeah. Problem is the Founders Pack bonuses expire, and you could pay for another Founders Pack to get that second set of rewards again. It's another $40.
Ouch.
Exactly. It's the microtransaction game has been taken to a whole new level in Fortnite.
Well, and you know, we didn't get into it during the episode proper, but you know, there are a lot of microtransactions in Battle Royale, but I'm fine with that because one, they're all cosmetic, coupled with it's free.
Yeah.
You want to microtransaction the hell out of that? That, like, one of the first unlockables in the game that I almost got my hackles up was it says, you know, there's one where it's like, you get a new background, you get a new character hairstyle, and the next one is like a pistol silencer, and I was like, wait a second, and it's like concept art for the loading screens. I was like, oh, okay. That's fine. That's all good. That's fine.
Yeah.
Because like right now they had a sale for it's like all St. Patrick's Day related stuff. And they were like $5 for an outfit, like a full outfit. I was like, you know what? That's fine. Because there's no gameplay benefit. You can't like buy a gun. It's just all, you know, Metal Gear style procure on site.
Oh boy, are you gonna love the PvE mode when you start playing that.
Yeah. As I know you unlock permanent guns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say about it is that the amount I've played it, it hasn't felt necessary. I've never felt like it's needed to do it.
Right.
It's just you want to get to level 100 quicker. You can buy your way there, but I've never felt it's necessary to do it at all.
Yeah. Yeah, and for me, like, microtransactions in a game like that, if the game is free, go crazy with cosmetic microtransactions. I could not care less.
Yep.
That's a $60 game, and then you have this Founders Pack for $40 more, and like cosmetic microtransactions. That's no good.
Quick correction.
Yeah.
Cosmetic microtransactions are fine as long as it's for specific outfits, not this loot box bullshit.
Yeah, if it's a loot box, even if it's free, I can still, as long as the loot boxes aren't super scummy. As far as I've seen in Battle Royale, it is, you want this outfit, you buy the right amount of whatever in-game coins it is, and you just go buy that outfit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they have loot boxes. I don't actually know. They might not. They had like weekly specials where it's like this stuff is on sale for this week, but like in the store, not on sale for a discount.
Yeah, the PvE version has loot boxes in it. They're loot llamas, though. Yeah,
the llamas. But you can gain those by playing, right? Like every time you level up, you get a llama.
Yeah. Every time you do missions, you get V coins as a reward. And
V coins, that's what they're called.
It's the currency that you can buy the loot boxes with.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'll pick up Fortnite if it's on sale at some point. I don't know. What does camel say for when it's been on sale?
The fuck is camel?
It is basic. I use it as a basically what you do is you create a wish list in Amazon. You point this website at it, and you basically say like, all right, this game is brand new for $60.
Tell me when it's 10.
Yeah, like I want you to let me know when it is 35 or less.
Yeah.
Either on Amazon or like a third-party person, and then it'll shoot you an email.
That's kind of cool.
See, here's the problem: is like you can't buy a boxed copy of Fortnite anymore.
Nope.
So it's a little hard to tell sale prices.
It's gonna be hilarious if they go with limited run for when the game actually comes out, and do like a limited run physical edition.
Yeah.
Mechanical in chat asks, what are we looking for E3? Good mid-show thing rather than the show proper, because it's still a fair distance out.
Yeah.
But yeah, give me Splinter Cell. Ideally, give me Hitman version 2 or year. They've already announced they're going to do
whatever.
Yeah, they've already announced they're doing a season 2.
Yeah.
But give me a good trailer for that. That's a game I really need to get back to because I love that game and I haven't barely played it.
I want Ubisoft to announce a new Assassin's Creed for fall 2019. And just say, like, here's a teaser, like, if it's going to be a sequel to Origins. Probably isn't because they did that in the DLC.
Yeah.
You know, give me a little bit of a teaser and then say, you know, coming 2019. Or, like, coming late 2019.
I mean, I'd like EA to fucking do something. Like, we already know the Battlefield's going to be World War II. Essentially, it's pretty much all but confirmed at this point, I believe.
Pretty much, yeah. They'll show Anthem, for better or for worse.
I'm hoping for better. I'm hoping they do a good, solid play for that. And I think, did you read the same Kotaku article I read where it's like the Anthem staff are both nervous and excited because it's kind of
a make or break.
Yeah, and I'm hoping. I don't know if it's possible, but I'm hoping that they learn from the Star Wars thing
and Destiny
and kind of shy away from microtransactions because they need to learn. You can do this to the sports people all you fucking want because the sports people have only got the one game that they can play. It took 2K way too long to learn that they could do it too, and now it's in all of the 2K games. It's in the wrestling games, it's in the basketball games. You can do it to that audience because that audience isn't a Star Wars audience. That's not a mass market audience. That's a very specific niche. Right. Don't get me wrong, that niche is huge, especially FIFA. FIFA's like been EA's best-selling game for like 50 years running or something at this point. But you do it in the other genres, that's when you're in trouble, and I hope they learn that. And
Yeah.
I kind of feel bad because I get the distinct impression that Mr. Moore was probably the reason that that stuff wasn't showing up. Like,
Probably, yeah.
he leaves and then all of a sudden it's like microtransactions everywhere. It's like,
I actually have two things I don't want to see. I actually really don't want to see Square Enix there much at all. I don't want them.
What have they got?
Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy 7, the new Tomb Raider, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Don't show Kingdom Hearts 3 anymore. He showed it a couple months ago. It's still not coming out this year. There's no human way. They're starting to staff up for Final Fantasy 7. Stop showing it. Stop talking about it. Stop doing anything about it.
That's what bothers me about this whole release cycle bullshit. It's when you do a teaser trailer for something and you haven't staffed up for that project yet. That's a problem, because
I think Square finally got bit with it with Final Fantasy 15, and now that the Royal Edition is out, people are continuing to rail against them. So I think they made their mistake with, ever since Final Fantasy 12, they've been making this mistake, and I think they finally learned that lesson with Kingdom Hearts 3, and every time they show it, they have something pretty meaty to show. And they're coming out and being honest, saying, like, it's not coming out this year. Like, we just want to show you more stuff. We're still working on it. Just hang on.
Yeah. It's actually, fun fact, I finished the first chapter of Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. And listening to those guys talk about being 100% honest with the customers for the Kickstarter campaign for Pillars of Eternity for Obsidian.
Yeah.
Listening to them feel how good that change is, like just being honest with people and not being nailed down to some PR tactic. You'd think that companies would learn from that and be like, okay, look at Double Fine. They got a lot of flack for the Double Fine adventure game taking so long, but they also did the documentary, and people seem to be so much more understanding after seeing the documentary about it.
They showed all of the struggles. Yeah,
it's like, we get it. Especially Square, you have a tendency to make games way above and beyond the scope of a normal game. The fact that you do the whole Konami thing and build a new engine from scratch, basically, for every single game is stupid.
I think they finally stopped that.
I hope so, because I'm all for tradition. I like tradition. For fuck's sakes, I'm English. I drink tea. I like my tradition. DNA. Exactly. But at the same time, like, these people need to learn that this isn't regular life. This isn't like just a thing that you do once a day. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and you are wasting so much money with these quote-unquote traditional things that you're doing. Nintendo seem to have learned that tradition doesn't get them anywhere. Yeah. Like, they made a boatload of money off all of the new Super Mario Brothers games. But then look at critically, they were railed against for it. Yeah. And then they give Mario to a younger team. They give Zelda to a younger team, to the new generation. And look what happens. You get Breath of the Wild and you get Galaxy. Probably two of the highest rated games of the past 10 years. Yeah. Mechanical Beak says, I'm hoping for an Elder Scroll. I feel like that's probably another year or two out. I hear everyone saying, like, I want a new Elder Scrolls, but I feel like with them just putting out Skyrim VR again, and Skyrim Switch, I feel like every time they put out a new version, it like their plans get pushed by another year. Not because it's the same team working on it. It's just people will keep buying Skyrim. I don't blame them. Skyrim's great, but you need to do me a favor. By the way, can you just Google what the Roman numeral VR is? What's the Roman numeral for VR? Yeah, because that's how many times Skyrim has been released. I got it. Yeah, and I feel like people will keep buying Skyrim for $60, so keep putting out Skyrim. I mean, I want a new Elder Scrolls game, but Bethesda, of all companies, do it right. They announce at E3, it comes out that year. Yep. Like, they do like a 4-5 month build, if that, on their releases, and it's done them really well so far. I feel like we won't see Fallout 5. I don't think we'll see that for a couple of years. No, it's an Elder Scroll game this time. Fallout 4 was the most recent one, so... I feel like the reception to Fallout 4 was so lukewarm across the board that
they have to go back to the drawing board on 5.
Yeah.
Something major has to change. Or you just like strip all the BS and get back to something like Fallout 3, where it's much more streamlined.
Yeah, I think there's a problem they ran into. This is the first next-gen Bethesda game, though, isn't it? So they kind of put everything they could into it.
Yeah.
And for better or worse. And to be honest, that's probably why a new Elder Scrolls game will be amazing, because they always take what they learned from the previous game and take it forwards.
And they fix the engine.
Yes. Well, fix.
I can't think of anything else huge. I'm sort of excited again for whatever indie showcase is going to happen at, Sony or Nintendo or Microsoft. I feel like we're at the point where, they show something like Donut Country, and I'm like, yeah, cool. I will play that. That's great.
Give me a good news on Below, please.
God, I've been waiting for that game to come out for so long, and they keep pushing it back, and I will give Cappy Games a lot of credit. They keep coming back and saying like, my God, we have to push it back again. I'm so sorry. Like, it's coming out great. We just need more time. It's bigger than we thought, and it's harder to work on than we thought. And
at least when they did the full reboot, they flat out came out and said, hey, we have to restart this game from scratch. It was not fun.
Yep. I loved that. They were just like, look, we were making a game that wasn't fun to play. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, Get Out? No, Get Out. Is it Get Out? Yes, Get Out, the new co-op EA game. A Way Out.
That's in releases.
That's probably the thing I'm super duper hyped for. Yeah. Like if that comes out pretty good, then I'll be excited.
Yeah. Other than that, I feel like Sony's gonna have a down year this year. Last year was their year, so I don't know what they're gonna announce. There won't be a new Nier game. I don't think Square's gonna come out with one. I don't know what else. They're releasing a lot of stuff this year, but I don't know what else they're going to tease.
To be honest, the main thing I hope is Microsoft buys a bunch of studios and starts doing original IPs.
Yep. Just putting stuff out.
I mean, I know the whole, whatever the Beats by Dre Dragon game was, didn't come out great. Scalebound. That's the one. That didn't come out great, but you know what? Microsoft, just go out and buy Platinum. You want them to do stuff, go out and buy them. You've got the money for it.
Yeah, if you want Bayonetta 1, 2, and 3 to come to the Xbox One exclusively, you need to front the money like Nintendo did.
Yeah, I honestly think they just need to go drop big money on a Japanese studio or publisher.
Yep.
Because they need that, whether it's paid for or not paid for, like we discussed previously with the whole PlayStation 4 thing. They're getting a bunch of exclusives just because Japanese developers don't want to develop for the Xbox One.
Or like Sony has made it worth their while or something, Engine problems maybe, like we never know, but that's certainly still their preference. Install base is still a major hurdle.
Yeah.
All right, you ready to knock out the rest of this?
Yep. I was just about to say, I still can't believe Monster Hunter is Capcom's best-selling game.
It's exciting. It's great.
Yeah.
All right, let's get started here in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of March 19th, 2018. Assassin's Creed Rogue Remastered comes out for the PS4 and Xbox One.
Why?
I forgot this was coming out, and I think it's $40, right?
I think it is, yeah, but I've just started Black Flag. I haven't really made any inroads into that because I didn't know when the release date for this was.
Yeah.
And then to make it even better, from what I understand, it does have the ship things that Black Flag does.
Yep.
And what else comes out this Tuesday? What's that releases, I hear?
Skipping 2 releases, Sea of Thieves comes out for the PC and Xbox One.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not like I'm going to have all of my time taken this week.
That's true. I'm excited for Assassin's Creed Rogue because that's the one I haven't played. Other than like the Chronicles games or the PSP ones, those sort of don't count as much.
Oh, no. I don't know if it's backwards compatible, but get your 360 and get Liberation on 360.
That's I played a little bit of Liberation. That was good. So I'm sort of excited. $40 seems like a fair price, but I already have something I pre-ordered coming out this week, so I won't be able to buy it. And I think it's, as far as I can tell, it's digital only.
Yeah,
so
that would make sense. It makes sense for them to do that. Is it a full remaster?
You know, honestly, so little is known about this. I feel like we'll find out pretty quickly on Tuesday. I get the impression it's kind of like with Burnout Paradise. You know, you sort of up-res some stuff, clean some stuff up a little bit, you know, put some anti-aliasing on, and you're good. But it doesn't need that much. It was it was such a late release on PS3 and 360 anyways. It probably looks fine.
Yeah. I need to check and see if I've got $100 in my budget this week.
Yeah. But with Microsoft's Game Pass for only $10 a month, you can get Sea of Thieves day one.
I already have Game Pass.
All right. Attack on Titan 2 comes out for PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. I know a lot of people are excited about this, not only because I get the impression these are actually really good games, but because Attack on Titan is huge. Largely, gigantically huge.
Yep. And
that was not a pun about the size of the Titans. I regret saying that.
I haven't played any Attack on Titan games. I started watching the anime after a friend of mine in England is like the biggest fan, and I was talking with him about anime, and we were bonding over Dragon Ball Z, as you do with any anime fan.
As you do with any person of our age. Where it's like, hey man, remember Dragon Ball Z? It's like, yeah.
Dude, he's like 10 years younger than me. That's the best thing.
Well, I should say anybody our age and younger, you have like a 95% chance they have seen almost all of Dragon Ball Z.
Yep. But I recommended Bleach to him, and he recommended Attack on Titan to me.
Nice.
He demolished Bleach faster than I could watch Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan, 20 episodes. Bleach, 300 episodes.
I quit Bleach after like 250, and I was like, okay, I can't do this to myself.
The best thing is, dude, you quit exactly where I quit the first time I watched it. It gets so much better after that.
Of course it does.
It's to use Dragon Ball Z parlance, it's the Cell Saga. Like, I'm not a big fan of the Cell Saga.
It's fine
because it kind of drags, but then after that you get to the Boo Saga, which is like just a whole another level of amazingness.
Yeah,
that's exactly what Bleach does.
Of course it is. Someday, maybe when I retire, I'll start Bleach again.
Yeah, you should watch Attack on Titan as well, because that thing is incredible.
Yeah.
And super dark.
Valkyria Chronicles 4 comes out for the PS4. I think it'll be getting a PC release later. Genuinely surprised we're getting another one of these, because we didn't get 3, or it did come out way later. That's for PSP, I believe.
What a shock.
I think this one is... From what I've seen, I think this is significantly different from what made the first one great, so I am probably going to be skipping this one.
Okay, I was about to ask, is this your pre-order, but apparently it's not.
It's not, no. A Way Out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. If anyone doesn't remember this is the 2-player co-op only prison escape game that I could not be more excited about.
Yep, I didn't even realize it was coming out this week. Yeah. So I will be going downstairs and clicking pre-order.
I'm so excited for this, and I really wish... My wife and I are both really... we're very pumped to play this after E3, and now we have a kid that's very active. So eventually we'll be able to play this at some point, but...
I will try and rip Jess away from pirate ships long enough to play this with her.
Just say, like, for every hour of Sea of Thieves you play an hour of A Way Out.
That ain't gonna work. It might work if I do the hour to 10-minute ratio.
Oh, yikes. Just actually treat it like a TV show. 25 minutes of the one game, an hour of pirates.
Yes.
Yeah. Detective Pikachu comes out for 3DS. A game.
This is the game you pre-ordered?
It is not. Shockingly. Oh. I'm still really excited about this game coming out, and apparently there were like 2 or 3 releases in Japan that were, some of it were downloadable and some of it were physical. This is the whole thing on one cart here in the US. So that game is ridiculous and looks really great. And last but not least, the game that I have pre-ordered, Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom for PC and PS4.
I didn't even know this was coming out. I didn't know this was still a game.
They were pretty quiet about it. They announced it and they're like, hey, we're making another one of these. Studio Ghibli's not involved. Please look forward to it. See you later.
Okay.
And then went really dark for a while and just said, like, we're working on it. Like, we're just hard at work making Ni no Kuni 2. The thing that pushed me over, from what I understand, they moved to it's a totally different story. It looks even prettier than the first one, which is just crazy.
It's a bit mind-boggling considering the first one is probably one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen.
Yeah, it looks really good. I believe it's a real-time battle system this time, which looks really cool. The thing that pushed me over is Jason Schreier over at Kotaku wrote an article, and he laid out the thing that happens in JRPG that is my weakness. You run into people in the world that you can... Basically, the whole idea is you're a king that gets kicked out of his kingdom. You need to go build a new one. You can recruit regular people around the world to help you build your kingdom.
Oh, no, it's Peace Walker, it's the base building thing.
Yeah, and like Suikoden 2 and like all those ones and like Breath of Fire 3, where you're assigning these people to jobs and they are building your kingdom, and that was my breaking point.
Konami did it first.
There we go. That was my breaking point for this game, where it's like, okay, fine. I will pre-order this game. We talked about this on Pup. The three of us on Pup seem to be the only people that loved the first one without any regards for the problem that people had with it. People remembered... I don't remember this. People didn't really like the grinding in the first game. I do not remember that at all. But Ni no Kuni 2 looks really good. And I
never played the first one. It's one of those regrets of, at the time I didn't have the time for a massive JRPG.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the base building thing, and unfortunately that is a big weakness for me as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of the reasons I love stuff like Front Mission 3.
Right.
Because you can do kind of similar stuff in that as well.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no.
I don't want to pick up. Man, it's like, you know what, I love the first one. I have not pre-ordered much stuff for this year. I will put my money forward. I will support Namco Bandai, and Level 5, I believe, is the developer.
Oh no, do I have $150 in my budget this week?
That's the problem, where it's like, and also they had a really cool looking collector's edition. I was like, oh, how much is $200? Never mind. So I bought the $80 one because one comes with a steelbook that looks really good. Otherwise, I wouldn't care. And two, it comes with like a paper craft, like pop-up book kit. I was like, all right, fine, I'll buy it. You jerks, making good games.
The worst thing is I know I could buy the physical edition of this because Jess will never play it.
Yeah, that's true. That is so anathema to her video game desires that...
Do I have $180 in my budget this week?
Resist. You're going to be playing Sea of Thieves for a good long time anyway, so...
I know. You have no idea how frustrated I am. My wife finishes work at 2. I don't finish till 5 to 8, depending on the day. So I'm going to get home, and all I'm going to hear is pirate shanties, and look how great we are, and look at all this stuff we've got.
And you're, like, eating dinner in the kitchen, like, stupid...
Pretty much, exactly.
Well, speaking of Sea of Thieves, let's move on to our news stories about the Sea of Thieves achievement list. This was highly recommended by Mr. Moonpier over here that we need to talk about something. I haven't really looked.
Yes, so the reason I brought this up is because, as everybody who's a fan of the show knows... despite my influx into PC gaming and not really caring about achievements there, I am a big fan of achievements. Mm-hmm. I like the Kaplunk. I like the Diamond Kaplunk. I like seeing my my E-Mamba go higher.
Yes.
But the thing that happened was I saw that the list of achievements for this game was revealed. So I thought, oh, I'll check it out, see if it's one of these. Elite Dangerous is a good example. I'm never going to get 1,000 gamer score on Elite Dangerous. Mm-hmm. I'm going to hold my hands up and say I ain't going to get every achievement in that game ever because they're so ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's fine. I thought, well, let's have a check and see what Sea of Thieves is, see if I've got a chance of getting the 1,000 gamer score on this. And they have done my best thing ever for achievements, which is they have been so original with them.
Yeah.
The names are incredible. The descriptions are all pirate riddles of how you need to figure them out.
Mm-hmm.
So, just some random examples here. A pirate once said that when you are sinking, playing some music is more helpful than drinking. And that achievement is called a Titanic ensemble. Guess what you have to do for that one?
I see the one here that says, wait, hold on. Stop it, mouse. Give your ship a captain sent off by playing a song, aboard it while it sinks.
Yep, exactly. There's nothing says social like cruise drunk down the local. I think it's an achievement for just getting drunk with people in the bar there is in every port.
Oh, nice. The one I like here that I saw that Moonpier is not going to like is Tactical Chunder.
Yep, that I was going to mention this one because it's kind of disgusting.
Throw vomit on an opposing pirate while they're holding a sword.
Yep.
Also,
exactly.
I really like that they put a joke about the crunching on a banana after that video went viral. It's a kill a skeleton while it's crunching on a banana.
Yep, exactly.
That's really good.
Did you see the actual riddle for Tactical Chunder?
No.
There is an old saying that to win a sword fight, a Tactical Chunder will ruin their sight. Like, these are the actual descriptions for them, not like guides. This is the description for the achievements.
That's really good.
Like, it's so good. Handbrake 10, when you find yourself needing a new direction, turn hard and weigh anchor to plot a correction. This is the type of charm that I'm so glad is in this game. Like, so thank you, Rare. Man. Oh, yes. No more, because otherwise I will fall.
Plenty of tales of crunching.
Yeah, 4 minutes to mutiny. Let's see if we can bring that down to 3.
With your wife, anything is possible.
That's true.
Let's move on to the next news story. Yakuza Kiwami 2 has been announced for the US, and it's launching August 28th, 2018. So this is the second year in a row that we'll have 2 Yakuza games in that year. First off,
these games are huge as well, aren't they?
They're so big. I think the thing I really want to shout out is Sega's localization team. Like, I hope these continue to sell well, and I hope they're getting really fat bonuses. This game just came out in Japan 8 months ago. So, like, I don't know how quickly they're doing just the mountain of text in these games, but I hope they're getting super huge bonuses because they are probably not sleeping.
Yeah, probably not. Or they have cots in the office.
Yeah, hopefully not. That sucks. But I hear that Yakuza 2 is probably people's favorite one, and that makes me really excited. So I've already pre-ordered it.
Yay!
So, yeah. Twitch Prime now includes a bundle of games every month. I think they were before they were releasing like maybe one a month, where it's like, hey, you can get this free game. This month they have 6.
Okay, I guess I better go sign up for my Twitch Prime membership.
Yeah, if you have Amazon Prime, you already have Twitch Prime. You just need to sort of hook the two together.
I do. I've just been too lazy to do it.
Yeah, it's not that bad. This month is Super Hot, Oxenfree, Mr. Shifty, Shadow Tactics, Blade the Shogun, and a couple other ones that I don't have written down here for some reason. The only rub about this is you need to have the Twitch desktop app installed, and they redeem in that app, and they tie to your account in there. So they don't give you Steam keys or anything. So yeah, thankfully Moon already has a Twitch desktop app installed, because that's how he chats with all you fine people watching the live stream. I installed it. It's not bad. There's an option to not start it at Windows startup, and that's all I really care about.
Yep.
So, you know, go get Super Hot, Oxenfree, Mr. Shifty, Shadow Tactics, Blade of Shogun. All 4 of them are really incredible games. So
yeah, Super Hot's actually games with gold this month as well.
Ooh, nice. I don't know if I've gone and downloaded that. I should check that out. Well, it's the 18th, so I might have missed my window.
No, it's just
it's the second half of the month?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll go get that. Next news story. Shadow of the Tomb Raider will be out this fall. Worst kept secret for about 8 hours.
Yep.
When people looked at the HTML code for the website and it said, hey, it's going to launch September 14th, 2018.
Yep.
So,
shocker.
I'm really excited about this. I really loved the first two. Thankfully, this time it's not an exclusive to any platform. It's coming out PS4, Xbox One, and PC on that date.
Here's the question, the big question.
Yeah.
Is Square going to call this a disappointment again and then claim it's responsible for all their losses this year?
I hope not.
Because I'm sorry, if they've declared the first two as both massive failures in sales,
Yeah.
why is there a third one?
I don't know. I'm happy there is, because the first two were really great.
I've only played the first one. I guess in time for September, I better get my Tomb Raider on.
I think if you liked the first one, you'll like the second one a lot.
I did. I love the first one a whole bunch. But we have the first and the second one on Xbox One, so I might replay the first one and then play the second one.
Yeah, first one's short. Oh, man, so good. Microsoft announces big changes to their E3 plans. Sort of maybe worrying that this is a big sea change for E3. They basically said that they are not doing a full booth at E3. It sounds like they're still doing like a press conference, obviously, because you don't lose that slot.
Yeah.
But they are going to be doing some sort of their Fan Fest activities at the Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles, which is next to the Los Angeles Convention Center.
They're just doing what EA did. They're doing what Nintendo did.
Yeah,
Nintendo did it first.
The only thing that's changing is instead of them having like a proper booth on the floor, they have a booth that is featuring Mixer, which doesn't seem like a good idea.
And
Just
for the show floor, probably not. But there's part of me that's curious, like if they're doing their fan event, that makes sense. EA have done it already, where EA will have their press conference and then a huge event off-site away from the ASRB.
Yeah, people come down, play our games.
And based on last year's, that place was jumping. So we know it works. Sony have done it as well. They had fan events. Microsoft, I think they've just realized they can get away with paying a lot less for the tiny little booth space.
Yeah.
And do your own fan event for the same price, essentially.
Well, and now E3 is open to the public for certain parts of it, so why not have a much bigger area that they can just like walk down the block to and say, hey, you want to play all these games we just announced? Then, come see us at this other place and
and if
out.
They know the public's going to be there, they could probably say, okay, you can get into E3 2 days. Come hang out with us all 4 days.
Right. Yeah. So it'll be interesting. I think them having Mixer on the show for us sort of stinks, but we'll see how it plays out.
Yes.
Speaking of Microsoft, this is a news story that started off sounding really scary and ended out pretty entertainingly. So players have said that Xbox Game Pass was stopping them from playing some physical games. So basically what the original news story was, some people were saying, I tried out Game Pass, and either they canceled it after the trial or whatever, but let's say you had Gears of War 4 in your disc tray, Game Pass expired, they're saying you couldn't play the disc version of the game that you already had installed. It was just saying, like, renew Game Pass to play this game. That sounded a little bit weird, especially with Sea of Thieves coming out. That seemed like a bug that you really didn't want to have happen. Microsoft recently released a statement that I now just caught. We've confirmed this is an isolated incident and are working directly with the one user affected to resolve. So Microsoft did their investigation and found one dude had this problem.
The best thing is, I guarantee that they probably went straight to news sites and like, I've got this great juicy negative thing that you can write up and make this huge deal about.
Yep.
It hits one site, it hits them all. It becomes this big blowout. How many
bunch of people saying that happened to me too. They don't even own an Xbox One.
Exactly, and then Microsoft come out and say, "Yeah, the one person."
Is this one dude, Phil, in Kansas City.
Yeah.
It affects that dude. We don't know why yet. Sea of Thieves is still fun. Good. Go Game Pass. Woo.
That's incredible. Good job. Good job. That is it. I'm sorry. That's the right way to do that press release.
Yep.
It's to say, we are handling this. We are aware of the issue. We're trying to deal with it. They probably were before this even hit the news sites.
Yeah.
Because they've got a really fantastic support organization and structure. And it's just the perfect way to be like, yes, we're looking into this issue because it affected one person.
That one dude.
That kind of immediately puts the shame on all of these news sites for blowing up about this kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's an issue, but I bet you that guy contacted Microsoft support, and I bet you they were trying to figure out what was going on.
Yeah.
And then when they didn't do it within 3 seconds flat, which is what everybody expects to happen these days. Exactly.
Yeah, and that's why I put the Kotaku news story in the show notes for this week, is because they came out and said, like, it's a couple people have reported it on Reddit and some other forums, and none of us can reproduce it, so we'll see what Microsoft has to say. And Microsoft said, it's that one dude. And last news story, but certainly not least, it was Prey Day, 2017's Prey, this past week, which I didn't know because Bethesda celebrated because March 15th, 2032 is the beginning of Prey.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. Part of what they did is they posted a picture. Everybody has those gross red prey eyes, and they originally had it censored and then sort of cheekily uncensored it after that. And basically it looks like there might be some Prey DLC coming on the way that features the moon. So put it in my veins.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to assume it's not another full Prey game. It's that Prey, this article says it released on May 5th last year. They're not going to put 2 games out in 2 years. They're not Sega, right? That's anyway. So you want to put out some more Prey, whatever it is, give me that Prey.
Yeah, I will jump on that thing in a heartbeat.
Yeah, give it to me.
2017.
All right, that's all our news stories. Let's hit these these emails now that we've been recording for a really long time. Boy, this episode and Outcasts are going to be real long this week.
Yep.
Jimbo Jangles sent us an email. Says, my question this week, has a game made you better or great at another game? After spending 15 plus years playing Halo, I think it kind of made me a killer in other shooters, especially Battlefield 1. I didn't think I would be a Battlefield player if I wasn't for all those years playing Halo. So how about it? Has so much time in one game made you awesome at another?
I would actually say the inverse of that for me. I think playing the Battlefield games made me a better Halo player.
Oh, interesting.
Because I was real bad at Halo, and then playing the Battlefield games, because I was never a COD guy. I hated COD. Yeah. And I've spoken to a couple of people who play Battlefield and COD who've said they are better at COD after playing Battlefield, just because the shooting in Battlefield is a lot less auto-aimy.
Okay.
There's a lot less of that swing when you zoom down the sights to lock onto somebody, so it makes them better in other games. I will say, Burnout Paradise, the original time it came out, actually made me a lot better at Need for Speed games, and I think, was it Forza 2 at the time? Forza 2 or 3? Paradise made me so much better at those games because it allowed me to handle the speed so much better.
Yeah, for me, I think Forza 2 is actually my choice, because I think I played a lot of racing games before, and I played some sort of semi-racing games like PGR and Metropolis Street Racer and some of those, but I never got super deep into them because I wasn't good at racing them, Yeah. But I think the benefit of Forza 2, I don't think I ever played Forza 1, really. Benefit of Forza 2 for me digging so deep into it was that driving line and saying, like, oh, okay, then you have to brake, decelerate or brake here and then sort of rocket out of the turn. Like, oh, okay, now it's teaching me how to play a racing game like you should drive a race car.
Yep.
So that helped me so much with other games of that ilk, more serious racing games. I feel like that was my first introduction into the genre of more serious racing games, and sort of saying like, oh, Oh, these are actually really good. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Ace Combat probably made me better at Battlefield as well, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Flying those jets around, and that actually probably made me a better Elite Dangerous player, because I didn't play Elite Dangerous until after I'd already done a whole bunch of Ace Combating. But just that mental switch to the three-dimensional space is so much easier when you've got experience with stuff like Ace Combat.
Right. I'm trying to think of anything else. I can't think. I've been playing first-person shooters since, you know, Wolfenstein 3D, so I don't know if any of that applies. I don't play a lot of sports games.
This is a dumb one, but Guitar Hero probably made me a better typer.
Oh, sure, that makes sense.
Because like
get
I
your
wasn't
dexterity stat up.
Yeah, I wasn't a big typer, and then all of a sudden I went all the way to expert mode on Guitar Hero and Rock Band 1, and I'm using my little finger like it's never been used before.
Right.
And then, you know, all of a sudden you'd stop playing for an hour and you realize your finger's locked up because you've done so much exercise on this thing that you never use.
Yeah.
The PSP made me a better villain.
That's true.
Because that did give me the claw, and then I look like a monster trying to scratch people.
Let's move on to T-Bomb Rocks. Asked us a question last week in Discord because of technical issues. We had to skip it. Over the weekend, Microsoft had a live stream event on Mixer. One of the big reveals is that the FreeSync update drops next week for the S and Xbox One X systems. Do you think this will excite the average user, or is this more of a way to future-proof their systems?
FreeSync is the open source thing that syncs your monitors to the output.
Have like super high, you know, people are buying like 144 hertz monitors, you know, for especially for PC gaming. It's really nice to see them support this on a console. I think this is like a 1% feature, you know, like
I'll be honest, it's the Xbox One X. It's the people who know about it are gonna care. Everybody else is just gonna be like, oh.
And I think more TVs as opposed to monitors are starting to implement FreeSync or whatever the sales term is going to be for TVs. So I think we'll start seeing that more and more as people start buying more new 4K HDR TVs. But I think the number of people it affects right now is pretty slim. But I think he's right. That's a way to future-proof their system. So new TVs come out, you plug your Xbox One X in, it figures out, oh, I have a 4K TV with HDR10 and FreeSync support. I'm just gonna configure that all by myself, and your games look really great. Woo!
Yeah, well, the X was really great when I plugged it in for the first time. It was like, okay, we've detected a 4K signal is capable. Do you want to try it? Yes. Okay, this works. We've detected a HDR signal. Do you want to try it? Yes. Okay, this works. And then it set it by default as my resolution. Yeah.
That's the great thing that I like that more TV manufacturers are starting to do, that the box you're connecting to your TV, whether it's a console or like a Blu-ray player or a tuner or whatever, all of that stuff is starting to talk to each other, where it's like, hey, I support HDR, do you? Yeah, I do. Okay, and they're going to try and figure out what the best support is and then auto-configure both ends. And that's so great because I love tech. I don't want to configure. I don't want to figure out, like, what's my optimal black level and have someone argue, like, well, your TV's better at low instead of high. And I don't care.
To be honest, it's like PC games on Steam. Like, I love being able to just load up Steam and click go and it goes.
Yeah.
Like, if people want to recommend games to me, knock yourself out. But if it includes an INI file and I have to tweak it in any way, shape, or form, I'm gonna dust my hands and walk away, because that's why I love my Xbox. That's why I love my console gaming. It's click, click, go, done.
Yep. Yeah. So I think it's cool that Microsoft put that out there, but I think that's not a thing you're going to see for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And last but not least, Almighty Tooth asked in Discord, have you ever beaten the game way faster than you thought you could? I was showing off Metal Gear Solid 2 to some family and friends and ended up beating the game with 2 hours and 9 minutes on the clock. They were much younger, so I made sure to use the tranquilizer gun.
Well, there's your first mistake. You don't use the tranquilizer gun. You choke everybody out.
I always use the tranq gun.
Me too.
Always.
Always non-lethal.
Metal Gear Solid 2 is probably that one for me, because that one, Especially in the original Xbox version, that's the one I played a lot.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of games that I've actually, like, I beat a lot of games. It's whether or not I beat them quickly. Because I think my problem is usually the opposite. I get sucked into doing everything that's in the game.
Yeah, you're going for 100%.
Yeah, you check out West of Loathing. Like, I wasn't even aiming for 100% on that, but I just love going and seeing as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of this whole frugal mentality I've had, which it's why I try to explain why achievements mean so much to me. It's because it allows me to get more out of a game.
Right.
So by doing something like achievement hunting or going after every little bit in the game, I'm saving, quote unquote, saving money because I'm spending more time with something I've already sunk a bunch of money into.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I usually run the inverse of it, where it's like, oh, this game is supposed to take 8 hours, West of Loathing. I took like 20.
Right.
So, oops.
I think the one that comes to mind, other than MGS2, is probably Shadow Complex.
Oh yeah,
mostly because they had that 13% achievement. I wouldn't have even thought about it unless they put the achievement in there. I was like, that was one of those games where I looked at the achievement list and I was like, wait, you can do 13%, and like you start putting the pieces together, and you're like, yeah, I can do that. Okay, let's try that. After a try or two, you're sort of like, okay, yeah, I know you can do in like Super Metroid. That's sort of famous for, low percentage runs, but I never played Metroid games like that. I was always 100%ing Metroid. So
yeah, I'm a crazy person, so we already knew that.
Well, yeah, and I don't think they had a low percentage achievement in Axiom Verge, right?
I think they do.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a particularly hard one, though. They also have a no
maybe
death
that's why
one.
I didn't go for it.
No deaths.
Yeah, the Mummy Demastered trophy.
Yeah,
no deaths. I was like, nope.
See ya.
Never happening.
Hey, they patched it now though, so I might have to give that a shot one of these days.
I don't know. That was a fine game. I don't know if I want to like get 15 hours in and then just get bum rushed by one of those sarcophagi that has the dashing guy. Oh, I'm getting angry all over again.
I give you the legendary Dead Space 2 tale from this podcast.
Yeah. The many legendary. I'm going to keep trying.
Uh-huh.
Nope, I failed.
It took me a week, but I got there.
Yeah. Man. All right, thank you very much, everyone, for sending in your questions. That's our episode for this week. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. The links to everything are on the right-hand side of the page, including the Discord server still hopping. Come join us, chatting. We're always in there talking about something. If you need help Sherping, getting Sherped through Marvel Puzzle Quest, a skewed one, and everyone else is there to help you.
We definitely have a big crew of people willing to help with that kind of process.
Yeah. Don't forget, this month's Game Club game is The Swapper. That's out on a whole bunch of stuff. And I did verify it was on PlayStation Plus, so you might already own it if you have PS4 or Vita. You can join us live, Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, Smashcast. Someone's probably mirroring the stream at somewhere else too. Subscribe to all those places. They'll let you know when we go live. Last but not least, Patreon. Patreon.com/E1M1. Get all of the cool behind-the-scenes stuff. Get some early access to episodes. Dynamic soundtrack is on there right now. There's going to be some other stuff here coming in the future that we're working on that we're not going to announce quite yet, but the $5 level is kind of your sweet spot. But all the other tiers are good too. Patreon.com/E1M1. That's our episode. We'll see you all next week.
Bye-bye. Fun fact, I almost clicked stop recording right now. I forgot about this whole other section.
Alright, hit me with them titles.
A game of statues, puzzle death simulator, little kid playing with the big kids, I'm Going Baby Gate, unsurprisingly squishy, A Tale of Woe, and Konami Did It First.
Oh, Konami Did It First is good. Konami Did It First. I have 1,160 games. It's very 1995. They go silly. I'll go Babygate, which is probably my vote, and Konami did it first.
I'll go Babygate is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think for next week I might try and actually get her to write down what all of her names for them are,
Yeah,
just so
that'd be great.
I actually know.
All right, I'll go Babygate. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 543 from March 19th, 2018. I'll go Babygate.
Trap them in the room.
All right, thank you very much, everyone, for watching live. Super appreciate it. Big shout out to our Outcast peeps. And thank you for watching the archive video, or if you're listening, or all that stuff. We appreciate it, and we love you. See you next week. Bye.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
I will.
I like them a lot.
Okay. Well, I love you guys. Bye, and see you next week.
Bye-bye.